Hello, everyone, and welcome into the virtual PokerGO studio. This is the Poker Masters Online PLO series. Jeff Platt, joined by Pot Limit Omaha aficionado, podcast host, content creator Joey Ingram. Joey, best of the best, playing the great game. I imagine you're looking forward to this series.
I'm very much looking forward to this series. It's the first ever really the first ever Pot Limit Omaha tournament series that we've ever seen. I've been asking for this for about four years since I played my first WSOP event, and I said, oh, these PLO tournaments are kind of fun. Being mainly a cash game player, I wish we got to see more of these, and now we have a beautiful series, a great series. How many events? We got 13 big events, some of the best poker players at the great game of Pot Limit Omaha in the entire world battling it out. I mean, it's awesome, man. I'm really excited for it, so I was excited to help out, get involved with the cause here.
This will be a lot of fun. Happy to have you here. This is the final table of event number 1, a $10,000 buy-in, a $720,000 prize pool. Action already underway. You see the blinds on the bottom of your screen, 15K, 30K with a 3,750 ante. That is Lasse Nielsen, who 3-betted with a ace-king, jack-deuce double suited, called by Demirjian, who flops top 2. Comes king 5-4.
Yeah, it's pretty much
just like that. Action. Yeah, all the chips. All in and a call. Demirjian ahead. You see the equities under the player's name. Queen of diamonds on the turn. Just all the outs in the world. And it's the 6 of hearts. So just like that, we have an elimination.
We didn't even get started. We didn't even introduce the rules of the game. We got to explain the rules of the games, remember, and how it works out, because we got a lot of new players that maybe don't play this beautiful, great game, right? So just kind of disregard that first hand. It's a pretty normal hand. A couple double-suited hands pre-flop. Once you're short stack in these Pot Limit Omaha tournaments, once you flop a top pair, top kicker type hand, you're going with. That's it. So.
And that was Lasse Nielsen, who we said goodbye to out in 6th place right off the bat.
Thanks for playing, buddy.
First hand of our coverage, eliminated in 6th for $32,400 and 32 points in the race for the coveted purple jacket. More on that race in just a little bit. Just to fill out the rest of our final table, that is Mark Demirjian. It is Marcelo Mariano.
Luck Express 10, the guy's a legend. He played the Dur Challenge back in the day. The guy loves to play a lot of high-stakes poker, high-stakes Pot Limit Omaha, very long time from Full Tilt Poker back in the day. So,
got Jesper Hogard out of Denmark.
Kipster DK, friend of Gus Hansen. That's all you got to know. The guy's out of line. He is paying Pot Limit Omaha high-stakes a long time as well, too.
Norbert Secchi from Hungary. And there is our chip leader, Gavin Cochran.
Gavs is also a Pot Limit Omaha legend. He's been playing the highest stakes cash games online for a very, very long time. Gavs 101 over on Poker Stars. The guy is he's a terror. You don't want to play against this guy. He's a terrorizer.
Comes into this final table with more than 3.6 million in chips. Fairly significant chip leader. He flops top 2 here. All right, folks, so it is Pot Limit Omaha. Every player dealt 4 cards. You must use 2 of those cards. 3 of the cards will be used from the board.
Right, so one of the big things that makes Pot Limit Omaha difference is that you have to use 2, right? So if you got only one diamond in your hand, 4 diamonds on the board, you do not have a flush. You need to have 2 of the same suit in your hand. So the kind of hands you have on the flop can change. You're going to flop a lot more marginal hands. You're going to be able to play more hands pre-flop. If they fold to 3, if they 3-bet you, you can always call. Well, maybe don't do that, but
maybe not.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game.
And there is a pot for Gavs up top in this one, $249,053. All of our final 5 guaranteed $46,800. The next pay jump is worth $18K. The Poker Masters Online PLO series, as Joey mentioned, it is the first of its kind. 14 events, all leading up to a 50K championship. The main event. There's a mini version going on as well with all of our mini buy-in levels.
Yeah, right. The mini, if you want to play small, if you don't have $10,000 to play, they have $500 events. They have a few $100 events as well too. Very good value, very good opportunity up there. Make sure you go out there and support the great game of Pot Limit Omaha. So that way we get more Pot Limit Omaha tournaments up there, right?
Could this open the door for more Pot Limit Omaha tournaments?
I don't see why not. I'm ambitious though, and I'm hopeful and positive.
You are ambitious.
I mean,
when it comes to this
game,
yeah.
Fun game to play. Tournament PLO is a bit different in terms of bit different how the game works, but I don't see why it couldn't be. I think plenty of people enjoy the game and would love to play. This is a new setup, guys. I like that. This is different, right?
This is our virtual studio.
Takes a little bit of getting used to.
made a couple of changes, a couple of improvements since the Super High Roller Bowl online series. We hope the cards stand out to you a bit more. They certainly do for me to make our job easier. You see the set modeled, of course, after the PokerGO studio with that Poker Masters online backdrop.
I can see that. Oh my God, here we go. So, Demersion, right? We said,
Yeah, nailed it.
yeah, Demersion decided not to 3-bet aces here. Not the best aces pre-flop. Also out of position. The stack sizes, they're both pretty big stacks. So he wants to play this a little bit safer and passive. Most people might just say that wouldn't we always automatically 3-bet all of our aces, but in the tournament structure as well too, that is something to worry about. Plus
Here
they are really deep.
A look at our leaderboard. Yeah, you mentioned it. Gavin Cochran and Marcelo Mariano, both with more than 100 big blinds. Mark Demirjian, 60 bigs. Norbert Setchi with 40 bigs. Jesper, our quote-unquote short stack, but at 30 bigs, he's still
that's pretty still pretty deep, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and 30 big blind pot limit Omaha plays a lot different than 100 big blind pot limit Omaha, especially in these tournaments. It's weird. I mean, it's a strange game of PLO when you're used to playing a lot of deep stack, 200 big blind, 300 big blind deep pot limit Omaha. When the stacks go down, the strategies can change, and the people who can adjust best to that and also run well are going to be the benefactors.
They do play with an ante here to increase the size of the pot pre-flop.
Is the ante count in the pot size bet on the flop?
No,
or is it dead?
It is a dead ante.
Okay. As you can see, Luck Express, how do you say this? Margliano?
I think we'll go with Mariano.
Mariano. Okay, Mariano. He loves to play hands, I'm sure. As you can see, he's already opened up a light open pre-flop, and now he called from the small blind with a double-suited hand that some players might fold. He's going to get all in here with a free roll, is what we call it.
They both flop the nuts.
Yeah. But he has that jack to go along with it, so he has a free roll. Gavs actually has one as well, too. If he hits a jack. So they both have a free roll here, where if you're going to get all in, you would love to have a free roll to go along with your all-in hand. Just gives you a backup, and you get in a lot of equity against somebody else who might have the nuts as well, too, without a redraw.
Mariano also has a backdoor hearts and backdoor clubs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is like Your
Cochran has backdoor spades, and all the chips do go into the middle. More than $6 million in the pot. And here we go.
Oh,
King of spades on the turn.
No way.
River card is the ace of clubs. So they will chop it up. I mean, we almost saw absolute fireworks right there.
Those are two of the biggest stacks by far in this tournament. I mean,
war.
Right. I mean, I can understand why Gavs did have the redraw right there. So if he did get in 7-10, once again, like I said, he's getting a lot of money in there extremely well. Also, the kind of hands that your opponent might have from the small blind there are, if they have the nut straight, they're probably going to have a 2-pair. So you can kind of maybe go through that one and debate, well, do you want to get all in there in Gav's spot? So I think Mariano led, and then Gavs decided to raise. And once the guy re-raises, I mean, you kind of have to go with it. But probably not loving it too. I mean, I guess you are enjoying it. You do have the redraw. You're just hoping he doesn't have some redraw himself.
Speaking of going with it, it'll be Jesper 3-betting. Mariano with the queen 10-9-8 with clubs.
Yeah, he's never going to fold a hand like this here. It's too much connectivity, and you have enough equity against just about every hand.
Jesper with about 500,000 behind.
Yeah, and I'm sure
queens here and backdoor spades.
He's just going to call it off here. Backdoor straight draw with the top pair with 3 overs as well too.
Does indeed call it off, and here we go. Jesper Højgaard all in and at risk. His queens are good for now, about a 2-1 favorite. 7 on the turn. All the outs for Mariano. And gets there on the river. It is the straight for Mariano, and that does it for Jesper Højgaard. Out in 5th place, $46,800.47 points in the race for the purple jacket. And Joey, we have a new chip leader, just like that.
Yeah, poor Kipster, man. I know if he would have won this tournament, they might have had a great out-of-line night over there, man. But I mean, that's kind of how it works, right? You might say, I think what was pre-flop did he have? How many big blinds did he have about there? Do we remember? Was it
25-ish,
25
yeah, to 28.
Ace, king, queen, queen. A guy opening up a lot of buttons. That's a very good hand to 3-bet, and then that's pretty much standard, right? You make the gentleman's agreement, and you go all in there. Both people flop a pair or flop a piece of it.
just like that, we are down to 4.
I love this guy's photo. I mean, this guy, does
Yeah.
that look like a guy, if that guy sits down at your cash game and you're at the Rio in the summer, this is the kind of guy that's, you're like, oh boy, this guy's going to be straddling from all
He's
positions.
never folding. He is never folding.
Not a fan of folding, right? I mean, that's what you like when you're going to play. Yeah, Gav's kind of taking easier. He could have potentially. Some people might have 3-bet a hand like this, a beautiful hand, Ace Queen, Jack 10, one nut suit, but he decided to just call out of position. I think he probably thinks he's got a pretty big advantage when it comes to playing deep stack pot in Omaha against just about anybody in the world.
Sure.
So
it's the straight for Demirjian.
big PLO player, Jeff. You put any hand? I know you've been playing a lot. You've been streaming a lot. You've been grinding a lot.
I've been trying to do a little bit of PLO research so I could at least somewhat kind of sort of keep up with the action at least.
Okay.
Now, you'll certainly provide all of the PLO analysis and correct me when I'm wrong, which will happen multiple times.
I just see things fast. I played.
Yeah, you've got the quick feel for the game. Yeah.
24 tabling for 8 hours a day, and so I see these things really quickly, and whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure for my life. But
and you'll jump into the mix in some Pot Limit Omaha tournaments every summer at the
Well,
series.
when the series comes, they don't have.
Right.
I would play more PLO tournaments if they had more. They just really don't have more. So there's not much incentive to put time in and study and think about it when you have more incentive to focus on cash games or focus on studying cash or really doing other things with life. But if they're going to start having more of these, I got to learn them. I don't see why not. I think
they're get into the mix.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't need to be studying every single day or be completely up to date with the current meta in terms of to have a chance in these games. So it's a great thing about tournaments, right? You can be an inferior player overall in terms of fundamentals or theory, but you can still have get lucky and win a big prize. Do we know much about our man Sechi?
Norbert Sechi out of Hungary.
Great name.
He did bubble event number 2, the 5K, yesterday. Has more than $3.8 million in live tournament earnings. He has 2 World Series of Poker bracelets.
Wow.
One in 2013, he won a 1K, and in 2018 at the WSOP Europe, won the 1,500 euro no limit hold'em / pot limit Omaha event, beating Sean Deeb. Heads up. He is now our shortest stack, but still plenty comfortable with about 40 bigs. Demirjian in 3rd, Gavin Cochran in 2nd. Marcelo Mariano, our chip leader, with more than 130 big blinds, about 4 million in chips. And Joey, do you see this next week or so as being a good learning tool for you, for other pot limit Omaha
I don't want to tell anyone this, but this is one of the yes, me talking about. I was going to tweet that out, and I'm like, let me just not say that because, listen, I mean, there's not much pot limit Omaha tournament strategy out there. There's a few great courses and a few good videos, but outside of that, getting to see top players or great players play with their whole cards up. I mean, listen, I can't believe people play with their whole cards up, first of all, but it is what it is at this point in time. It's been established, so. I guess they've always been doing that with the training videos. But to see like a full table, all the whole cards up, I mean, that's pretty.
All the hands.
All these like top home tournament replays are, I mean, it's an amazing time if you actually like studying, which I like studying. If you like studying, then this is great because you can study some of the top players in the entire world continuously, right? You get to see their updated strategies in real time as it evolves, as they play more final tables.
We are coming to you on PokerGo's Facebook page and on Poker Central's YouTube channel.
Are we on the Party Poker Twitch channel too? Or is that?
I'm not sure if we're on. Let's see. Let's just take a quick look.
So you can see Gav's here calling King 8-5 deuce from the big blind. Looks like he is going to go with a very wide big blind defense strategy, which isn't uncommon for great players to want to do. They think they have a superior edge post flop and know how to navigate the decisions a little bit better, or they're very trusting of their ability to navigate and make the right decisions. So I wouldn't suggest, if you're a novice player and you're deciding, well, how wide do I want to call in my big blind, you start folding hands like this one, okay?
Wrap for Demirjian. He takes it down up to about 2 million in chips. So next weekend we'll be on Party Poker TV's Twitch channel. For today, we are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Feel free to say hello in the chat.
Shout out to all my people on Facebook.
This is event number 1 of the Poker Masters Online PLO series. Jeff Platt alongside Joe Ingram. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be here every single day through next Monday when we'll feature coverage from our main event, a 50K buy-in, a $1.5 million guarantee.
Looks like Gav's limped on the button here with 9-6-5-4, looking to play hands with both of the blinds. Now this is something you'd see in the daily Pot Limit Omaha Golden Nugget tournament. You'd see the people limping with the 9-6-5-4 if they had one. They don't really have one technically. Vegas poker picking back up, Jeff. You been to play?
I haven't been yet, but
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
you went. You went on
I
day
went day
one.
one. Listen,
was
man,
that a content play? Did you
yeah,
want
of
to?
course.
Okay,
okay.
okay.
But I just felt that day one would be the safest day. Now you got a bunch
Oh.
of degenerates that have been in town for a while, kind of
Sure.
doing their things. I just felt like it was the move. I was going to go day one. It was fun though. I had a great time. Shorthanded Pot Limit Omaha with people who don't play much shorthanded is
Probably a good thing for you.
yeah, definitely. Because normally you're sitting there and you got a lot of downtime. In this situation, it's a lot more fun because you get to play a lot of hands and get to mix it up. I know not everybody is comfortable with shorthanded though, so they might not like 5-6 handed. They're just not used to it, and maybe they lose too much money kind of doing that.
Do you feel like poker rooms though have been pretty crowded throughout these last couple weeks here in
Yeah,
Las Vegas?
it seems that way, right? I mean, people are ready to play, and they're not on Twitter where it's fear content constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week about wearing your freaking your mask and all that kind of stuff like that. So these guys are in the real world. They're not on Twitter constantly. So they're like, hey, not everybody's obsessed as people are on Twitter. So they don't, just because you read about content all day long and see one thing doesn't mean everyone else does that same thing. Here we go.
Sechi with aces.
Four-handed, aces, big blind, 30-some big blinds. He's
Queen
going to
9,
3-bet.
7, 6, double suited for Cochran. It comes ace, 8 deuce.
This is what you like to see when you 3-bet aces, especially weaker aces
a
there
beauty.
too. Yeah, this is yeah.
510K in the pot. You see the pot size right underneath the flop.
See what sizing is going to go with there. Makes sense. Doesn't necessarily potted, but it's a little smaller.
Down bet to 165,000.
Some players here they blindly pot once they get to this sack size, and they. Ooh.
Gavin not going anywhere.
He's got
Floats here,
multiple
jack of
backdoors
spades on
there.
the turn. Sechi with 680K behind, 840K in the middle.
Yeah, when Gavs calls here, it looks to me like he's got a flush draw. We do have that nut blocker in our hand, the Bangkok blocker. We have the redraw with the top set or we have the immediate draw if he does have a flush. So this is very, can't go wrong with either option here, checking or potting.
He will take that pot down. Sechi also won a 5K WPT online high roller in May on Party Poker for almost $200,000. He's up to more than 1.5 million in chips. Mark Demerjian with 2 million. Gavin Cochran about 3.3. Marcelo, our chip leader, with almost 3.9 million in chips. Our final four assured of $64,800. About a $22,000 pay jump from fourth to third. First place prize of about $250,000 to kick things off. Poker Masters Online PLO Series.
I wonder if he should check that turn, actually. I'm thinking more about it. Just because when Gabs does call there, it looks like a flush draw. And if Gabs is floating really wide like he was, it gives him the chance to potentially bluff. Yeah, he's only going to get called by a better hand. He's probably not going to get called by a worse hand. There's some argument to denying equity from certain hands that had draws on the flop that maybe check back and see a free river. But that's, that's like a very unique spot that I feel like people don't necessarily have figured out in tournaments. So something more to think about if you're into it.
Running 2 high rollers a day. One is a 1-day event, one a 2-day event, and we feature that second day right here for you. So event number 2 wrapped up yesterday with Andras Nemeth taking down.
I feel like that guy's been
event number 2.
He's
just
top
always in the
top
mix.
A lot of leaderboards, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, anytime I see any Poker Master or high stakes event, I always feel like I see that guy in the mix.
You might recognize the guy he beat heads up for that title. That would be one Victor Blum.
Who's that?
May have heard of him. Isildur.
Isildur? People love Isildur.
Yeah.
Let's see what we
Almost
got
a
here.
folk hero, a legend of sorts
Yeah, he's something.
in the poker world.
He's something, all right. I mean, Madman, man. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Gets after it any game, anytime. Long sessions, high stakes tournaments. I mean, plays it all.
No Limit Hold'em, Pot Limit Omaha.
Mixed games.
Finished in second in the Super High Roller Bowl online series, just
Not
losing
bad.
out to Artur Martirosyan.
I'd like to watch a 13-minute documentary on that guy, Artur Martirosyan. I'd like to know more about him.
He's developing one. He's a guy who has no fear of the stakes. I'm not sure if he's a PLO player. I haven't seen him in the mix in any of these tournaments quite yet, but the series is young.
Anyone that won that event could play a PLO tournament. I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Have enough of a feel for tournament
Yeah,
strategy.
I think if you have enough of a feel for tournament strategy and you vaguely understand Pot Limit Omaha, I think you can kind of BS your way and figure it out.
Okay, interesting.
Especially at those smaller stack sizes, I think it matters more to have. But some people might disagree with me. From my experience, from not having much shorter stack tournament experience, trying to play it, it's just very different. And plus not playing many tournaments, whereas if you understand tournaments and you can understand where to put pressure on people and how to take advantage of stack sizes, I think that you would have a pretty big advantage over someone who might really know how to play the game, but doesn't necessarily know how to navigate the tournament format itself.
Welcome in everybody in the chat. Feel free to drop any questions you may have for Mr. Ingram. See,
Yeah,
Tony Burns has said hi.
Oh, Tony.
Will
Shout out to Tony
Jaffe
down there.
says, let's go, Poppy.
What's up, guys?
Some shout outs to you from Ian and from Paul. Ryan LaPlante is here. He can play the great game.
Ryan, load it up, Ryan.
A Shaq 7-3 double suited.
I'm just kidding.
8,
Come on.
6,
We're not
5, 5
advocating for that.
No.
6, man.
Norbert will defend.
It's not even funny.
Hawkins Jack 8-3 with 2 hearts. Flush draw and a pair for Sechi. Gavin with 2 pair and backdoor clubs. Goes check. 9 on the
He's
turn.
got top and bottom pair. Not surprised to see him check back. It's a kind of it's a hand that doesn't want to get check raised. It's a hand that doesn't mind seeing in turn because you'll be able to call most leads that lead into you, even on a 9 here. I guess a heart maybe. You might not call a lead with this 2-pair combination. But it's a fine hand to check back occasionally too with the backdoor nut flush draw, disguised hand.
Cochrane will fire 73,800 here.
I think Sechi's going to have to fold here.
Yeah, he will lay it down.
Yeah, weak flush draw. If you're going to be check calling here, you want to have a stronger flush draw or some type of combination draw with a flush draw and a 10 there for a straight draw if you're going to continue with that hand. I'm sure a lot of people probably overvalue flush draws in this game. Weaker flush draws, especially. Oh my God,
baby.
Oh.
I think that's a decent.
15.
You don't have to have
15
that much
hard,
knowledge
baby. Yeah,
of
poker. This is
Pot
poker,
Limit
right?
Omaha to see 2 aces, 2 kings, double suit, and be
Yeah,
like, I think that's pretty good.
Anyone can fit. Even my stepdad, who
Your stepdad can jump in the mix here and there.
figure this out. He could figure out this hand. I don't think he'd figure out post flop, but he could figure out, like here, he wouldn't know what to do. He'd be really lost.
It's of the aces, does of the backdoor spades, does of the backdoor diamonds. Gavin does have backdoor hearts.
I expect to see this go check, and then Gavs will lead the turn here. But it's a very good flop for his range, especially here. I mean, this is a pretty standard bluff here from Gavs.
Demirjian picks up the flush draw.
I'm not fold. I refuse to fold here with the nut flush draw. After I make this hand pre-flop, I just continue.
Right, the hand's too pretty. You're not. Yeah.
Of course, he calls. Yeah, Gavs did bet pretty small as well.
Deuce of spades on the river.
So Gavs does have some showdown here. He makes make the bottom 2 pair. Also, when he gets called, most likely he's either getting called by a straight or by an overpair with a flush draw or a naked flush draw. So it's better off to give your opponent to potentially bluff with that hand.
Goes check. There is a pot for Gavin Cochrane out of the UK. Celebrated his 32nd birthday over this last weekend.
Happy birthday to Gavs.
Happy birthday indeed. Gavs 101.
I got to get him on the podcast, man. That's a guy. He took a break for a while, so he was kind of off the radar a little bit of the community and probably recharge, right? Sometimes you need a break.
Yeah.
Too much high stakes. You maybe want to enjoy your life, go travel, have some fun, meet a girl or 2. or 3.
Yeah,
I
you know,
mean,
yeah,
be in
well,
an exotic location,
knows
maybe
where that'll take ya.
partake in some activities that would be frowned upon by certain people in your family and or religious people, right? Like, it's just, I feel like
sounds like you have experience.
I'm just
this
saying
route.
it's a trajectory. Some people who they have success and reach success in any genre, any area of the world, and they think they might need to try out a certain side of lifestyle, I guess. Shout out to Maury. You know, Maury was doing that when he was a kid.
That's true.
You imagine the stories Maury has. My God.
Poker Hall of Famer Maury Escandani has some stories, to say the least.
Think about the ones he tells, and then think about the ones he doesn't tell.
Right,
you know what I mean? I mean,
it's Queens for Mariano, our chip leader.
yeah, the 9943. Never want to find yourself in a big pot with the 9943. I'll tell you that. Unless you have quads.
Check on the turn. River Ace. Mariano's hand still best.
Might see Mariano go with a little river value bet here. Maybe something like, nope, checks back. Surprised he wouldn't decide to maybe bet something small there. Potentially could call by worse. Debatable. Maybe some sevens, maybe a lower pair.
We saw Gavin Cochran pop up in the 2019 British Poker Open. He played the 10K PLO event. Took 4th in that one. George Wolf, the winner of that tournament.
George's undercover. He's a beast, man.
Yeah, we've seen the Wolf more and more over this last year pop up in tournaments.
Shout out
both
George,
PLO and No Limit.
Yeah, man. He's a grinder. Works hard. Very hard worker at his game, man. He has got a lot of other great poker friends that he's in his network as well too. So I think if he keeps playing, he's only going to get better and better.
He is firing all. We saw him in both tournaments yesterday. I'm sure his plan is a full Poker Masters Online PLO series.
Why not?
schedule.
Why wouldn't it be, right?
Right.
I mean, I'd want to play all these events if I'm getting in the mix. I mean, assuming of course you can find the proper bankrolling, backing, whatever.
Sure.
Work your backers, boys, right? Come on.
That is right. This is the time.
Set your network up. Send the text out to the 6. Can I get in a 10K? What do you guys think? They know how it's done. I don't need to tell them anything. Get your package on one of the sites there.
That's true. Half the backing of the public, the community, the fans.
Exactly. They all want to get involved. They love
They want
firing.
some sweats.
For sure.
A sweat that gets enhanced if you make it to the final table of one of the events
And they
that
get
we
to
stream.
see it with exactly right.
It's the dream. Today, event number 3 underway, a 10K, and event number 4, a 5K, will feature coverage of event number 3 tomorrow. Tomorrow also marks the beginning of our first 25K at the super high roller level of $1 million guaranteed prize pool.
I mean, I know this is like it's normal for No Limit Hold'em players. They hear 25K and
Sure.
they like can be
Of
bothered.
course, that's a milli guarantee.
Right,
Yeah.
but for Pot Limit Omaha, it's like usually never anything like that ever. I'm serious, ever. Right? We get the 25K during summer. I think we had like a 50K at one point in time too in the community. But that online is pretty surreal to me to even kind of hear. It's pretty see.
Terrific partnership between Party Poker and Poker Central. As the winner of the Poker Masters Online PLO Series not only receives that coveted purple jacket, but a free seat into the main event that is valued at $51,000.
They get a free seat. When's the main event going down?
Main event will start on Sunday.
Oh, wait a sec. So if you win the purple jacket, you get to play the main
For free.
for free. Okay. I think you should give every winner of an event a free entry to the main event. Should I talk to Rob
yeah,
about that?
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe go through Rob. I don't know if I have the authority to grant that
Rob might be like,
request.
let me run that through the numbers.
Yeah,
Maybe
like,
not.
Okay, 50K addition.
It's a marketing investment. What do you
everyone-
mean?
yeah.
Hey, get people
It's for
out.
the great game.
Exactly.
Terrific turnout for this first event, a 500K guarantee blown out of the water, 72 entries.
It's pretty good. I saw a few re-entries as well too on the people that bought in.
Up to 2 re-entries are available
Not bad.
through the first 8 levels. They play 15 levels on day 1. We pick up the coverage right here. Level 16, 15K, 30K. 3,750 chip ante.
I'd like to see where these guys are playing from, like if they're in a couch or if they're in.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
remember
yeah.
Jay Kuhn was on a podcast, the Poker Central podcast, talked about playing Phil Ivey in a bathtub. Now, I don't want to see these guys if they're in the bathtub necessarily, but I'm just curious, like where their
get your
setup's
overall
like.
point.
You know what I'm saying, right? Maybe they got like a camera relay set into somebody. I don't know. I'm just curious where they're playing, right? I'd like to know
And
more.
there might be room in the future. You know, there's room in that virtual studio to put up a little webcam to see where the guys are grinding from. Just in future tournaments or events. You never know. It's coming to the virtual PokerGo studio.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
For security purposes as well, too. I think that'd be a good idea.
Certainly not a bad one. How about the royal flush draw for Demirjian? Could we see our first royal flush of the Poker Masters Online PLO series?
I don't know about that.
The odds would say no.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, personally, yeah. But we're not going to get to see it, I guess. Maybe they'll rabbit hunt for us.
I think it would have come. I think it would have popped up. We'll never
so.
know.
I think you're right.
We'll never know. Taking a look at our leaderboard, there's Marcelo Mariano with more than 4 million in chips. Gavin Cochran in second. Mark Demirjian.
I think he's more known as Luck Express 10. So I feel
how about this, Joey? How about some stats for you here?
Uh-oh.
If you are new to the poker world and you see PFR, how about a pre-flop raise percentage of the time that players are opening VPIP voluntarily put chips.
Let me make it more simpler, okay? PFR means when you raise. VPIP means when you put money into the pot, okay? You're gonna give some people anxiety kind of breaking down these terms. So VPIP, when I put my chips in, VPIP goes up. When you raise, when you sit at a table, you want to have high VPIP players in your game. If you have low VPIP players in a game, you need to berate them until they start playing more hands. I'm kidding. No abuse is going on, okay?
No, that is bad for the game, yeah.
I mean, listen, some of these nits, you got to at least... Come on, get off your iPad, play some hands. You know what I mean? You came here to play or you come here to fold.
Check 3 deuce, 2 hearts, the world for Demirjian who flops 2 pair and the flush draw.
There's a new thing going on. I'm going to talk about this hand that they do to the tight players. I'm going to tell you what they're doing to loosen them up a little bit. This happens in in one of my private games.
Ace rolls off on the turn. Aces and jacks now for Demirjian.
Demirjian obviously has a very strong hand. Could bet the turn, but not surprised to see him check as well too.
Just check around again. 3 of spades on the river. Demirjian's aces and jacks still best. Checks again.
Yeah, once again, he could go for a little value bet. Could try to get called by an ace-king type hand, ace-queen.
Checks around. Demirjian takes it. All right, so what are you guys doing in your game?
Oh, man, so here's what happens, right? Anytime you're playing tight, like 3 people in the chat, or they'll just start berating, they'll start saying, like, well, normally it's one guy, and then maybe someone else adds on. They're like, oh, like, come on, what are you doing? They're like, are you tight? Are you sleeping? Like, and they start putting you down in the chat, and then you feel like kind of peer pressure to want to play more hands. So, or they go, I'm not going to play. Like, we're going to kick you out, because the fun players get all the they get all the leverage in these groups.
Right. That's true. They get all the
I don't
invites,
want to play
all
with
the
this guy.
seats.
He's not playing enough hands, so then you got to have to play hands. So it's this new whatever. It's a new model. They can't. They don't. That doesn't happen to you at the win game.
No,
unless you're in the game in the back room. Then this
okay. Then the same thing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it depends where you're playing at. How's the chat looking?
Chat is looking good. Some comments from Mr. Nice.
Shout out to Mr. Nice.
It's all fake. Who's tuning in from Delaware?
Must be a conspiracy theorist. It's all fake, huh? Big Federal Reserve researcher, aren't you, Mr.? Aren't you, Mr.? Aren't you? It's all fake, huh?
Made a lot of comments on a lot of other YouTube videos out there. Let us know in the chat where you are watching us from. We have a worldwide audience for this one and appreciate it. Brent Hanks and Remco Rinkema managing the Facebook chat. That could be a disaster.
Norbert here, check calls turn. Gavs bets with his blocker to the 6. One for delayed C-bet. Now he's going to show down his hand because he makes the queen on the river. Or he might have turned into a bluff, which wouldn't surprise me as well if he decided to do that. Attacking, trying to fold off an ace. Does have the queen blocker, blocking some ace queens, which might matter a little bit. Is that what he did? Did he pot here?
Yeah, Cochran did fire pot 327,000.
Yeah, he has one of the perfect hands to do it with here with the queen and the 6.
Gets the job done.
Yeah, I guess my initial thought would be he would show that down, but thinking more about it with the queen and the 6 there, blocking the full house combinations. Also, if Norbert had a trips, he probably would have led the turn, or he may have led the turn a higher frequency of a time. So trying to attack an ace specifically is a nice play.
King 8 deuce for Demirjian with diamonds. Gavin will defend here. Mark Demirjian out of Lebanon.
Lebanon, huh?
Studied at both the American School of Paris and American University of Beirut.
Cool. What did he study?
He has a master's in financial economics.
Wow, I need
considers himself an investment specialist.
I need to have a
your guy?
2-hour conversation with this guy. I got some questions for him. Got a master's in it, yeah. So let's see if Gavs value bets this river with Jack 3. I don't see why he wouldn't.
He does fire pot 162,000.
Yeah, it's definitely a size most players would not go with here, but Demirjian, I think if he has any sort of 2-pair combination, he would have bet the turn himself. So Gavs is targeting this exact type of combination of hand, an overpair potentially, or a weaker 2-pair. And that's exactly what happens. I believe he gets called by him.
Does indeed get
really,
paid off.
really nice bet size. That's not a bet size a lot of players would have taken on the river there. They might have gone for something a little bit smaller. Very nicely played by Gavs.
Have people checking in from Berkeley, California, Germany, Vancouver.
Shout out to Vancouver.
Germany. A lot of Dallas, my hometown. Shout out to
How about those riots down there.
DFW area.
There's
not.
See that guy with the sword?
Good now. Yeah, that
crazy stuff. Yeah, where's everybody watching from, man? Where's people watching?
At San Diego.
Shout out to San Diego. Used to live out there.
San Diego, beautiful city.
Nice teeth out there.
Yeah.
A lot of nice teeth. You go to like
a lot of beautiful people.
Yeah. They all migrate there, I think. And great place to live when you're 23 years old, guys. So if anyone out there is younger, looking for someplace fun to live, that's the place you want to go. I lived there for a couple of years when I was younger. Before I was a beaten down man.
Sechi flops the straight here.
No, I live in Las Vegas.
That was long ago. Yeah, much calmer place, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay, we can see something here with the Jack blocker for Demirjian. He's got the top 2.
Sechi fires 105,000. Demirjian makes the call.
You might have missed Sechi has a redraw with his straight. You might have missed that if you're out there. He with a king, he improves for the nut straight, too.
Picks up a flush draw also on the turn.
I expect him to bet a little bit bigger here, especially once Demirjian calls his flop. He's going to have a pretty strong hand that most likely can continue a turn, except maybe Queen 8, 10 8. They might not be able to continue a turn, but if he had a set type hand or a 2-pair, 1-pair with a straight combination that potentially picked up a backdoor flush draw, he's going to be continuing. Plus he has 1 million there. So he went a little bit smaller maybe.
That's 285,000.
Demirjian, I mean, you're not going to fold here with a 3-pair. Potentially bluff on an 8 as well, too. If an 8 comes, you can open shove. You can also get there with your straight. He raises.
How about the check raise?
I didn't see it, but, you know, I see where he's going with here.
Sechi happy to call it off here. It is an 8 on the river, and that is a double up for Norbert Sechi. Up to about 2.5 million in chips.
I see what he's going for. He's trying to get called by maybe a 1-pair with a flush draw type hand, straight draw type hand. He just thinks with the Jack blocker in his hand, he can go with it there with a 3-pair. I see what he's going for there. Maybe has some fold equity as well, too.
Demirjian down to under 10 bigs.
Very curious what other people think about that. Ryan the Platt, very curious what he thinks about that shove there. Because I don't think it would be considered a bad shove by any means, because you do have a pretty strong hand, and once again with that blocker is pretty valuable. And also, if you have a nut straight on the flop, you most likely would have check raise, so your opponent might be betting with some hands on the turn that he might just be betting a little bit wider on that turn with some of his semi-bluffs.
Gavin Cochran, the chip leader, Marcelo Mariano right there, Norbert Secchi sitting pretty after doubling up, and it is Mark Demirjian, the severe short stack now with under 10 bigs.
Wow, C-bet, wow. Are we just putting down the percentage of continuation bet, or is that C-bet how many times we've C-bet, or what's that graphic for?
Yeah, that's a good question, because that doesn't look like a percentage, that look more like numbers, but then with a couple zeros, I don't know. We'll look into that one.
It's a brand new
Yeah,
setup.
it's a brand new thing. We're trying to incorporate some stats into the mix.
Exactly, man. We're trying out.
Made a couple changes for the better for our virtual PokerGo studio setup.
About Marcelo knitting it up with the Jack 10-9-9. Wow. So you can see Gavs is going to be open up a little bit lighter here than maybe other players might, but that's what you're going to see at tournaments. You can get away with playing hands like this, kind of connected hand with a high nut suit, or second nut suit rather, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Flop a flush draw.
Yeah, you wouldn't raise this hand if it was king 7-5-4 with 7-5 of clubs, but with the king high suit, it makes him a much more valuable hand. Does it? I don't know.
Just turn a wrap. $180K in the pot. Secchi will check.
Gavs could bet here with his super draw, super wrap.
He does bet pot, 180K. Secchi goes ahead and lays it down.
Takes it down. I put up a video today on my YouTube channel about the greatest poker players of all time tier list, and it wasn't necessarily like the top 15. It was just like 17 names I liked a little bit.
Okay. And you ranked those 17?
I just put them in tiers, and I think that I needed to bump Dan Bilzerian down a tier. I had him too.
So
he's just
he
like
part of the 17.
He's like the most famous poker player in the world, right? So it's really hard for me not to want to include him high on the list. But thinking back on it, having some regrets on that ranking. Yeah.
Kind of modeling it after the initial Remco Rinkema tweet that sparked that debate. His was more strictly who's the most talented.
I loved the
players,
discussions.
Right?
They're like the comments. How dare you say this person has more talent? Like, I spent time in a poker room with this guy. He's got more talent, and just would go to war. And
I played with this guy once, and he was the best.
Talent, right? It's very.
It opened the door for a lot of discussion.
I mean, we don't great poker players. They're so have to deal with so much political discussion on Twitter that when you finally get something actual poker related, you kind of get a little excited to want to engage in the discussion, right? It's like Trump, and then repeat that for about 7 months, and then you get one poker tweet that maybe you want to engage with. So it's quite nice.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, when Remco's not out there riding the bikes, maybe throws in a top ranking list once in a while. I like to see it. I like it.
Remco big on the trails of Las Vegas.
He's like the Dan Bilzerian of the biking community. He's up and coming, man, for sure.
Starting an Instagram account and everything.
They take some beautiful photos. I think it's like true. I don't know if we can say the name on here. It might be censored.
Remco, you can.
They made it like an Adeline name, or kind of a little bit, right? Fuck this hill. Is that what they made? I mean, what is that?
Can say it now.
How edgy is this guy? You know what I mean?
That's Remco for you.
Edgy name right there, man. Just
toes the line.
What kind of guy thinks he's tougher than a hill? I mean, you know what I'm saying? The guy just looks a hill in the face and tells him what it is. So him and his girlfriend are doing that. It's nice to see.
All the chips from Demirjian with the ace queen 10-6 double suited. After Gavin opened. Ace king queen 9.
Mariano's got a spot here.
Clubs. Yeah. Makes the call.
Hand looks a little better than it might actually be. Gavs is actually going to be in a really cool spot here because he's going to be able to call, and he's going to be in position, and he's very deep stacked against Mariano. So if he flops big here, he's going to have the chance to really, really win a big pot.
Demirjian in line for the triple up.
God.
But it comes 9-8-4. That would be top set
How
for
good does
Gavin
this kid run?
Cochran. Mariano with top pair and the backdoor nut flush draw. Oh, baby.
Mariano might continue here depending on the sizing. If it's big, he's not going to. If it's small, we'll call one.
Demirjian for now looking for a jack.
Yeah, he's got a backdoor flush draw. Demirjian is, yeah, he's got to say his prayers. Okay, Mariano folds. Good.
Those
nice
prayers
to
are
see.
coming
Okay,
in now.
good. I thought he might call away with a small bet. Nice to see.
Mark Demirjian all in and at risk. It's 9s full of 8s for Gavin Cochran, and that'll do it for Demirjian. No sweat there. Out in fourth for $64,800 and 65 points in the race for the coveted purple jacket. Good game indeed to Mark Demirjian.
Nice game, Mark. He's going to be rethinking that Queen 10 Jack 5 hand a little bit, I think.
And there is the chip lead for Gavin Cochran Gavs with 4.7 million in chips, more than 150 bigs.
Wow.
Marcelo Mariano in second, Norbert Secchi in third, and you see Gavin has been by far the most active player so far today. Jennifer checking us out from San Diego, Mike checking in from Boca, David in Philadelphia, Antoine in Malta. John Lee Hart from Frisco, another DFW, another San Diego.
Nice.
For Gieler.
Anybody here from Vegas? We got any Vegas
That's
locals
a good question.
here?
Ryan Fee has entered the chat.
My man Fees, what's up, buddy? Ryan been holding it down. If you're looking to play a high-stakes Pot Omaha game in the state of Nevada, my man Fees is happy to put you. Listen, Phil Galfon said he's looking maybe for a challenge on WorldSeriesOfPoker.com, Ryan.
He wants you to kind of help set something up.
Well, he just wants me to commentate or do videos on it, talk about the challenge, stuff like that, put on my YouTube channel.
But while you're at it, might as well check in with some potential opponents.
Where's Fees? I know Fees is ready, man.
Okay.
Fees is a madman. He's ready to do it. He's like a meat specialist right now, ordering meat from different parts of the world. Nice Wagyu enthusiast right now. So, yeah. A philanthropist over there giving out ice cream. I mean, the guy's doing a bunch of things.
A couple calls in the chat for Joey Ingram 2020. I guess that refers to our earlier political talk, but Mr. Nice and 25 bananas a day say Ingram 2020 is the
I don't
next
even know what
ticket.
that would be for. What am I doing?
I think President of the United States of America.
Am I taking over the WorldSeriesPoker.com marketing effort or something? And maybe put some effort in? I mean, what are we talking about here? 2020 what, man? I mean... See that rake structure they got for these events? Jeff, you seen these?
But, 100K player of the year.
Are
they player this year.
Are they paying attention to the rakes? I mean, what's going on here, guys? Come on. Come on, boys. Please. Boys and girls out there, please. Let's take it serious a little bit, right? I mean, come on. What's going on with these rake structures? Oh, well. Someone's got to say it.
Oh, the bracelets are nice.
Are they the same thing? Online bracelets? I mean, hey, I think they're great. I think anyone that gets a chance to win a bracelet should be incredibly excited for it.
I agree.
Maybe you give them like a silver bracelet or something like that.
Secchi with queens.
Nothing too eventful here going on. Secchi could bet the turn, could check back.
Does check back.
Oof.
Another 3 on the river for Mariano.
Mariano has a decision. Maybe a very thin value bet here on the river. He does go for the very thin value bet, and he's probably going to get called. Going to work out well for him. Targeting here that one pair hand, aces, kings, queens, ace, jack. Occasional jack 9 type hand as well too.
Does bet 56K, does get called by the queens. Well diagnosed. Nice pot for Marcelo. Marcelo Mariano playing out of the UK, born in Italy. Luck Express.
That guy must be such a in real life he must get after it hard. An Italian guy who loves to gamble high stakes.
High stakes.
Like these Italian guys are a lot of fun, man. Fun country. They must have a lot of partying going on over there. A lot of just celebrations. They just like to celebrate things.
Played in the Durr $1 Million Challenge, as you mentioned earlier. That was back in 2009.
Durr finished that challenge? we know?
This
I honestly
one
don't know.
This one
I mean,
was
I'm not,
completed.
Okay. Did he win it? Who won?
Mariano won $22,000.
Mariano won the he won the challenge.
He was one of only 3 players in the challenge not to lose to Tom Dwan.
Nice. What a sicko, man.
Struggled in No Limit once they switched to PLO. Mariano got the better of Durr. Came out on top.
Nice. Wasn't that the game? Didn't Durr play some guy? Sammy George played him, right? And he did this insane 7-2 split against the poor guy. The guy looked like the Sammy George guy, like shocked when he sees the hand.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, that's a classic clip right there. I love Tom Dwan played some of the craziest hands I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
We got a little something here.
For a 750K pot.
Yeah. So I imagine Norbert's going to lead here. Good check. Interesting. I probably would have bet here. With the pocket sevens
for him. Straight flush draw for Cochran. He will fire pot 142K.
Yeah, Gabs is, if Gabs is delayed continuation bet potting a lot, this might be a hand you want to include to check call, so I can understand that as well.
Secchi calls. Ace of diamonds on the river. Gabs gets there.
Now, some people might wonder, is Gabs going to value bet his flush here when he does bet pot and gets called? And Norbert doesn't lead, he most likely has a 2-pair set type hand and some flush draws. So wouldn't be surprised to see him check back.
And he does check back.
Right. So if Norbert does have a straight, most likely he's going to lead the turn there. So when he does call that big bet, you're narrowing his range down at what hands he's going to continue with. So when you think about value betting a 9-high flush, you could consider it, but I think a lot of his range is going to be flushes. But it's always something to consider.
Gav's approaching that 5 million mark. Blinds have gone up 20K, 40K with a 5K ante.
So they're still very deep. 100 big blind deep for Mariano. Over 100 big blinds for Gavs.
50 bigs deep for our quote-unquote short stack.
Yeah.
Secchi.
A lot of play here. It's gonna be nice to see.
Brian and Jonathan checking us out from Las Vegas. A couple locals in the mix.
What's up, guys? What's happening? For some guy on Twitter yesterday, some guy that I stacked at the Sahara, because I walk down Sahara sometimes, go support the room down there.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
They had
one of the newer rooms here, maybe the newest.
Yeah, it's definitely newest. Yeah. But I stacked some guy, right, and then I proclaimed how much I loved the game.
Okay.
And the other day on Twitter, he said, "Oh, you slow rolled me, and then you needled me by proclaiming how much you love the game. Heads up for rolls."
Oh,
for PLO.
The ultimate challenge. Heads up for rolls.
I said, "When are we playing? Let's get after
let's
it."
go.
Right? Here's my logic, right? Any guy that I stacked at the Sahara, who then thinks I slow rolled him, I have a massive edge against at Heads Up Poker that I don't even need to think about. I instantly
let's play.
Let's set it up. Yeah, let's set it up.
And did he respond?
Yeah, we're gonna set it up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe he was drinking or something. It seemed like he might have been, kind of walked it back a little bit once the nitty gritty kind of came down to it.
That always seems to happen. Slight walk back.
Would have made for good content. I would have streamed. It would have been fun to stream, right? We're not playing too high stakes anyway, I'm sure.
Gavin Cochran, Marcelo Mariano, Norbert Secchi, our final 3, all guaranteed $86,400.
Maybe my man Dan Fu can tell you more about Norbert. Dan Fu's from Hungary as well. Maybe Dan Fu might know him.
162K to second, $249,000 to our first place winner, along with 249 points in the race for the purple jacket for the championship of the Poker Masters Online PLO Series. A win there will award you not only the jacket but a seat into the main event, valued at $51,000. Gavin has the button here. He'll raise it up. Secchi flops jacks and 6s.
He's most likely going to continue with one straight with his 2-pair hands. Jack 6, King 6, King Jack. Flush draws and straight draws he'll call with here.
We'll check call. Deuce of clubs on the turn.
Curious to see if Gavs continues betting here with his future nut flush blocker and gut shot straight draw. If he does bet, Norbert's going to be in a pretty dicey spot here with a marginal 2-pair.
Does bet 385,000.
Could call right now and have the best hand, but theoretically, your opponent bets twice here. He's going to have a pretty good amount of equity, and you might be drawing dead. So he does lay it down.
Another pot for Gavin Cochran pushes him past the 5 million chip mark.
Yeah, some people might say deuce comes, right? That's the card you're looking for when you have a jack-6, but when your opponent puts his foot on the gas there, right, even if you call, there's going to be a lot of bad cards on the river that you're going to be in a tough spot and you're going to be unsure what to do. Or, yeah, it's never a good proposition to be out of position there with that hand.
Wookie in the chat says, hey, Joey, how much do I need to wager against you being able to eat 6 months vegan?
What?
Said I'll lay you 3 to 1.
Okay.
If you're in for 25. Oh, is that 25? There's a period in a weird place, so it's
So
either 25K or just 25 bucks.
So a
not
random person from the YouTube chat wants to bet $25,000 with me that I can't
You're getting
go
3 to
vegan
1
for 6 months. He
So
wants
that's
me to eat,
$75K cold
he
hard
wants
cash.
me to eat the Bill Gates Impossible Burger, the vegan burger. So this is what this guy wants me to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just something to keep in mind. His name's Wookie if you want to hit him
Shout
up later.
I mean, he can get in touch with me, Wookie. Which bet would I rather do? I remember Perkins and Daniel Negreanu, they offered me some sort of bet about going to Choice Center. It was a free roll, though. So would I rather go to Choice Center as a free roll or do the vegan bet for 6 months?
They would just pay for your Choice Center.
Well, I think they would
expenses.
they'd be like a free roll to go. Yeah. I don't know. At
Oh,
the time,
they pay you
this was
like a
back then.
bonus to go?
Yeah, like a bonus.
And then also cover the cost of
I don't know.
the expensive Choice Center.
I'm
Wow.
not sure how it works. I just remember that being proposed at one point in time. Nothing eventful there. I like this moving background. This is real cool.
Yeah.
This is nice.
It's a very sleek
A
layout.
lot of hearts, clubs, spades in there. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm seeing. Pink and purple contrast. A little bit of dark purple, blue in there, something like that.
Trying to represent the backdrop of our PokerGo studio.
Very nice. We're just tying this brand to purple, are we? Is that what we're doing?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All
Poker
right.
Masters Online, the purple jacket. We're going all in on
okay.
purple. I wore a purple shirt, which I thought was cool, but it conflicts with the backdrop, so it looks all stripy and terrible. So I'm gonna rock the hoodie instead.
You can't show off the cool shirt. You want to show them the cool shirt at least
I mean,
a little bit?
it would just look really weird. You see how weird
yeah,
that
I
looks?
see, yeah.
Yeah.
I know how people can feel if you tell them you're wearing a cool shirt and you don't actually show them.
Yeah,
You know
I mean,
what
cool's probably a strong word for the shirt, but I just wanted to prove I was thinking about the Poker Masters.
Yeah. No,
but that failed miserably.
Yeah, it's okay.
Don't wear purple with a purple backdrop.
To succeed is to fail.
That's good stuff right there. Three-handed.
Justified however you want, right?
For the title of event number 1 of the Poker Masters Online PLO series. Event number 2 was a one-day event yesterday, a 5K buy-in. That was won by Andrash Nemeth for more than $126,000, beating Victor Blum heads up.
Deep stacks here.
Gavin Cochran finished 6th in that event. He's the chip leader here. You see our stats. He's been the most active player so far. Similar numbers for Mariano and Secchi. Grooves asks any mixed game events in this Masters. This is an all pot limit Omaha series. The first ever Poker Masters Online PLO series. Poker Masters Online a couple months ago was won by Alexandros Kolonius for more than $1.26 million in earnings. Won the purple jacket, won a $50,000 bonus prize. More than $35 million in prize pools in that series.
A lot of big tournament series going on out there right now, Jeff. It's a good time to be a tournament player.
That much is certainly true. Coming off of the Super High Roller Bowl online series. That was won by Artur Martirosyan before Justin Bonomo picked up his 3rd Super High Roller Bowl ring, beating Michael Adamo heads up in the first ever Super High Roller Bowl online. Martirosian won that overall series for a free seat into that 100K tournament, and he finished second in the Poker Masters online.
Wow. We need a good way to keep track of all this stuff. You know, I feel like there's so much going on. It's really hard to keep track of it. What's all happening out there? So you can see both players kind of have marginal hands here. Mariano top pair with the gut shot. Gavs overpair with a gutter to the nut straight. Not very strong hands for either person. Mariano could bet the flop, could check back. Probably would bet more than I would check back on this flop if I'm him. And
just go check the straight for Gavin Cochran.
Expect Gavs to bet here and just be curious to see the size he's going to bet.
315K in the pot. He goes full pot.
Mariano kind of toss it up in the air. What you want to do here? Gavs is basically saying he's got a straight.
Yeah.
But Mariano does have near the top of his range potentially here. With Jack 10, really not going to have many better hands than Jack 10 here outside of a straight. He checked back twice, so maybe he might think about, or some people might think about calling there with Jack 10, but sometimes you got to lay it down. I don't think Gavs is going too crazy there bluffing. What hands would he be bluffing there with? So maybe he's more likely to...
Good question in the chat from Storm Blessed Fiora. She says, I think she says, not a big PLO player. They keep folding small to medium pairs three-handed. Joey, is that normal?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the small type of hands, 5-5, overcard, those aren't very good hands. No, you're not really set mining. It's not as much about set mining because the sets go down in value in pot limit Omaha. Just because you flop a bottom set doesn't mean that you have the implied odds to win these big pots like in Nolan Hold'em, where if you flop a set, you're kind of sitting there very pretty. In PLO, when you get a lot of money in with PLO, we call it the blanking idiot set because you feel like a blanking idiot when you hit your bottom set and you get a lot of money in. So they don't call it dead. They don't call it that because it's a beautiful set, right? It's not. The beautiful set would be top set. That would be the beautiful set. So yeah, those hands just go down a lot in hand strength, basically. And even when you do flop a bottom set, right, you flop a set of fives, flop comes 10-9-5 with two hearts, you're not even a favorite against a bunch of hands your opponent might have there. So it gets you in a lot of trouble. You overplay it a lot. A lot of people overplay it.
Gav's limping in on the button here. The ace queen 6-5 with clubs. Ace king 8. Ace high diamonds for Mariano. He'll limp in the small blind. Sechi happy to check in the big. Oh boy. Comes king 8-8. King's full for Mariano, who has an 8 also. You rarely see percentages like this in pot limit Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, how is he not? Oh, backdoor straight flush draw. Okay.
Yeah, 7 of clubs, 9 of clubs. 7 of clubs.
Can you imagine you flop king 8? You have king 8 in your hand, and flop comes king 8-8, and you're not 100% favored to win the hand.
Right.
I mean, come on. And you have the ace blocker to block pocket aces potentially if someone has pocket aces. He's still going to play it pretty slow here. I mean, he can't really get called by much. There's no flush draw out there. He's just trying to hope somebody bluffs at this pot. It's kind of a question you face sometimes, right? Do you want to pray someone bluffs because most likely they don't have a hand they can call with, or do you want to just bet and pray that they maybe misclick call or they have a jack or they just don't believe you?
The misclick call.
Yeah, maybe they Gavs might do it. No. He does.
He will fire 60,000.
They awarded him. The tricky play got him paid off.
Got him.
Maybe a min raise. Let's see. Min raise. Okay.
Goes bigger. Goes to 251,000.
Like, what could he really have? He can't really. Maybe a jack, ace jack. He's betting light, right? The guy's not going to call. I mean, maybe. You never know, right? This does look pretty full of it when he does, because Gav's bet's going to look really weak. His range is pretty capped here. Mariano's going to be aware of that. He could potentially be attacking it with a good bluffing candidate if he had it.
So Mariano inching closer to Gav's, now with more than 4.2 million in chips. Norbert Secchi, the short stack with about 30 big blinds. Still comfortable here. Almost $250,000 up top in this one. May say 7-5 on the button for Mariano. Just take that down. Second place worth $162,000, and all three of these players guaranteed $86,400. 72 entries in this tournament, 9 spots paid. Niklas Aztet, Nico Soininen, Andreas Torbergsen rounded out 7 through 9.
Shout out Skiervoy right there, and also Vroom. Both legendary Pot Limit players, longtime members of the high stakes community.
Plenty of names that you'll recognize as far as notables in this field. Sam Trickett, Jason Mercier, Ben Lamb, Isaac Haxton, Jonathan Deppa, George Wolf, João Vieira, Dan Shack, Victor Blum, Andras Nemeth, Yoni Okamainen, Steven Chidwick, Sergei Rushak, Yuri Zivalevsky, Jake Schindler, Max Silver, Ludovic Geilich.
You're supposed to know all these names?
Some of the names that you might recognize.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
I feel like
I don't
you
know a couple
probably
of those. I mean, I know most of them, but
I feel like you, yeah.
I got some questions for some of those names,
Okay.
actually, personally, but
Strategy related only questions, I'm sure.
interesting. Okay. Mariano's going to bluff here. Don't think this is going to work. Gavs has a 9 in his hand. Just block a little bit. Does he call? No, he folded.
Does work
Wow, nice hand.
for Mariano.
Interesting to see Gavs fold that hand there. I usually like talk out my thought process out loud when I try to figure these things out, but I don't know if that's always the best. You know, sometimes there's the commentary, right? You might want to keep things pretty like surface level, base level, right? Or you want to, you know, you tell a few jokes or you comment on the play and you don't get too intricate with the analysis of things.
But I think you can provide analysis.
I'm more like talking it out, right? You know, I'm trying.
Sides.
I ask pretty good questions to figure out answers to maybe what you do in spots.
So we're going to have people new to the game of Pot Limit Omaha here watching for sure. And then we're also going to have the quote-unquote experts of the game who are trying to watch, trying to learn.
Everyone's trying to learn this
during these high-stakes Pot Limit Omaha tournaments.
You're referring to all the people you're referring to the people that watch on Facebook as being the experts, right? Because we know.
I did not,
the expert
say
poker
which
players.
one. Yeah, right.
Majority of those guys are going to come from Facebook. Shout out to my people out there on Facebook. You guys are doing good things up there. My stepdad's probably watching right now, trying to figure out what the hell's happening with these graphics.
Kings and deuces for Mariano with backdoor flush draws.
You can see Mariano's potting. The button isn't open. Some people go min-raise. Some people go 2.2, 2.5. Everyone has their own different sizing they like to do here on the button.
Yeah, that's what Don asked in the chat. He noticed that as well.
Yeah, there's variety of play strategy. There's no real agreed upon best approach, best strategy right now that people would say this is the way to do it. This is why to do it. People might think that they have that figured out, but you're going to see a variety of strategies. Especially a person at cash games might be more comfortable betting the pot and opening up their pot. Because at cash games, you're very rarely min-raising. You're not really min-raising.
Sure.
And even 2 point, you're usually just open pot for most people.
Good point from Edgar in the chat. If you're watching PLO, you're learning. That's what we're doing. Always learning here. Gavin Cochran, the chip leader. Marcelo Mariano in second place. Norbert Secchi in third. Cochran, the most active player so far throughout our final table.
C-bet went down to 6 from 7. So it's not the number of C-bets.
Right, but that's very low for a person. We'll work on the C-bet column.
Yeah. We'll get at the Poker Tracker guys on the line. Maybe they can.
Yeah, there we go.
They've got experience with this.
20K, 40K blinds with a 5K ante, as you see on the bottom left corner of your screen. Pot size at the bottom of the table. Players' cards, their chip stack. And you'll soon see their equities. Percent chance they have to win the hand if it goes to showdown.
So you can see a lot of players, they are just going to call almost all the small blinds.
Okay.
When it's folded to them, they're just going to play a lot of hands out of position, and if they get raised, some players continue with a lot of hands in that spot, but Queen Jack 5 deuce, very weak hand. Very debatable if you even want to complete with that hand in the small blind.
Norbert Secchi, more than $3.8 million in career live tournament earnings, 72 career cashes in the live realm.
Not bad.
2 World Series of Poker bracelets. Won a 1K in the 2013 series for $345,000. Gavs gets a walk with aces.
You never like to see that.
Right.
You always want some action with aces. Although some players would say they don't want to see weak aces, they just want to take down the pot. So, and I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I agree. Better to win a small one than lose a big one.
True.
You know. Every time you get aces, the board comes 5, 6, 7. I don't know how it happens, but it does. Nothing eventful here happening. Gavs does have a blocker to the nut straight, but if he's bluffing this combination with a blocker, he might be betting a little bit too much. Let's see if Mariano value bets here. Imagining he will.
Aces and nines.
Let's see what size he goes with. Half pot.
47,500.
Takes it down.
Cochran lays it down. Gavin Cochran, our chip leader. 3 players remain in the hunt for the title of event number 1 of the Poker Masters Online PLO Series. Up top,
oh yeah,
more than $249,000. 162K for second. All 3 players assured of $86,400. 4th place, Mark Demirjian. Took home $64,800. Took home, he was probably already home, but you know what I mean. 5th place, Jesper Hogard for almost $47K. 6th place, Lasse Nielsen. In the very first hand of our coverage today, he busted in 6th for $32,400.
We didn't get to see much of that
Didn't
guy.
see much of Mr.
I was
Nielsen.
looking forward to it too, but unfortunately we didn't get to see much.
Producer Sam put together a bio for him, for us.
Spent all that time for
nope,
Maybe he'll make another.
Nothing.
Maybe he'll make
the
another
series
final
is
table.
young.
We got
the
more.
series
We
is
have
young.
more final tables in the works here. I'm excited to see if he comes back. And
tomorrow will feature coverage of another 10K high roller. Catch that both on PokerGo's Facebook page and Poker Central's YouTube channel.
so Gavs limps in with the ace queen 6-4 on the button here. Checks back nut flush draw. See if Norbert bets with his king here. Not that strong of a king. Just have the gut shot to go along with it. Gavs turns the gutter to go along with his nut flush draw. Not surprised to see him bet here. Fold out better pairs, maybe like an 8, and hands that are going to have equity against him. He can also bet turn, bet river on some runouts too. Builds a pot potentially for himself when he does make his hand.
Secchi does make the call. It is a 7 on the river. The gutter comes in for Gavin Cochran. It's been his day so far.
This is Gavs. This was Gavs. Gavs. When I think of Gavs, this is kind of how I think.
Okay,
this is what I think. Yeah, this is the guy. This might be the run good that comes to mind.
That's 161,000.
Norbert's in a spot here. He's got the marginal 2 pair, but his hand doesn't look strong. He has the king 7 in his hand. 9 might be a little relevant. Only has 1 diamond, the 7 of diamonds. So you're trying to look for hands that your opponent could be bluffing you with here. And he does have the missed flush draw, but he also has the backdoor straight to go along with it. So he's going to get called.
It does call it off there. Another nice pot for Gavs.
He's moving and grooving.
Yeah, up to about 5.2 million in chips. Sechi now down to $1 million.
Yeah, tough river spot there for Norbert. Nice bet size from Gavs.
Norbert down to about 25 bigs.
Still got plenty of room to play. Even when you pot pre-flop, you're only calling 3.5 big blinds, only not putting that much in. So you still got a lot of room behind. So Norbert has a straight draw here with a pair. Gavs has the subterranean wrap with the ace-3 deuce. Yeah, once Gavs checks back this turn, or checks back the flop rather, Norbert can try bluffing here with semi-bluff. He does have the ace blocker in his hand too, takes away some of the flush draws. But I think if Gavs maybe raises some of his nut flush combos pre-flop, so not sure how relevant that would be. I think Gavs has been playing pretty nice range in the check back pots. He's checking back hands that can call turns plenty of the time. He's not just, some players are very unbalanced in that they check back very weak hands and then they bet all their strong hands on the flop. So Gavs is mixing up his play quite well here.
He's the most active player, is the chip leader. Marcelo Mariano in second. Norbert Sechi in third. 20K, 40K blinds, 5K ante. We are on a delay, a little less than an hour or so, to protect the integrity of the tournament.
The last thing we want is some crazy to happen here.
A stream scandal. Not happening here, folks.
Let's hope not.
Security is tight.
I love the smile of this guy Mariano. The hair, the side lets you know he's
Yeah.
lets you know he like thoughtful about his style a little bit. You know what I mean? I like that. Happy guy. Probably been to Malta down there in the party district one too many times in his life. You know, had a good time, enjoyed himself.
Flops a set of deuces here.
People in Malta don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Got some people in the chat from Malta.
They'll know what I'm saying. You ever been to Malta before?
I've not.
No?
No, sir. Would you recommend it?
Yeah, of course.
Sounded like it.
Warm place,
Sounded like that
island,
answer would be a yes.
beaches, warm weather.
Yeah.
A lot of Italian people there come down there to have a good time. Remote location, away from Twitter. I mean, you know what I mean? Anytime you get a chance to get away from
put
Twitter,
the phone down for a
potentially,
little bit.
I mean, listen, you got to get away from these guys sometimes on Twitter. These guys are out of their mind. All these people are out of their mind on Twitter.
That's a fair assessment.
So Gav's light call with the pot size raise with the king 9-9-4. Flops blockers to the nuts. Mariano has a bunch of backdoors here. Backdoor bonanza. Wouldn't be surprised to see Gavs bet the turn here and bet the river on a non-diamond or board pairing card. And even some board pairing cards.
Does bet pot on the turn, 315K.
Mariano's hand has the pair with the flush draw, but not a very good flush draw, so that's a pretty easy fold.
Yeah, it does lay it down.
That's our lesson here for new players. Fold
Okay.
the weak flush
Okay.
draws to big
Okay.
bets. I know
Gets
it
you in
looks
too
tempting.
much trouble.
Yes. I know it looks tempting, and I know a flush is a very strong hand at 2 card. But you got to remember that a weak flush, and you learn your lesson, right? You get busted a few times. You realize, okay, I got to lay off these hands. So you can see Norbert's using different button size strategy here. He's going for a little under 2.5.
With the Jack, 10,
Wow,
7 with diamonds, yeah.
Didn't see that coming. I mean, not that. It makes sense.
Okay.
If he had a nut suit, if he had ace, king, queen, 7 with ace, 7 of diamonds, ace, king of diamonds.
Changes it.
Right, I think he would have continued. But I think a lot of players may have called there, small blind, but no shame in playing conservative and conserving your chip lead here and just waiting for better spots next hand, right?
This is a pretty
Pick
good
this up.
one.
Exactly, right?
Ace, king, Jack 10 with clubs.
So Gavs is doing 3 times on this. So you're seeing
Yeah.
3 different button raise size strategies here. 3x, 3.5x, and then 2 points.
Smaller one from our short stack Sechi.
Right.
Secchi's biggest career score for more than $730,000 at a 10K at EPT Barcelona in 2018. Lost to Max Silver heads up. Also has a second place finish at EPT Prague in 2019 and at a 5K event, the 2014 World Series of Poker. Does have some wins on his resume as well. 2 World Series of Poker bracelets. Also won the 10K High Roller finale at the Party Poker Millions World in the Bahamas.
Is that what it's called? Party Poker Millions World.
Millions World. Party Poker Live Millions World. The Bahamas.
They all sound the same. Maybe we go with a new name. Maybe we go with like the Big Volcano or something like that. You know, maybe we give like our series a name that stands out. They all. I guess we got to include poker in it, right? Maybe poker.
Right.
The poker eruption.
Well, Poker Masters is pretty unique, or at least it was back in 2018 when we started with the Poker Masters.
Yeah. It's building up.
Maybe.
I think you give it a couple years, right? It's going to have a name that stands out. Takes time to establish a brand and establish a name that stands out.
You attach the purple jacket with
especially with all the beautiful support the poker community likes to give to new projects that people start up, right?
Always on board at 100% support.
Yeah, listen, we know how these guys are. They're trying to make money. Nothing wrong with that, but certainly not supportive of projects sometimes that some people might put out there. That happens. People are trying to get out of makeup. I understand it happens.
This jack's full of 6s for Cochran. Jack's full of 4s for Mariano.
This is good right here. Gavs, I would imagine he's going to check raise here.
And he does.
At this point, Jeff, you're praying your opponent has a jack.
Yeah.
Maybe he makes the call with a straight draw, but right here you're just saying, please have a jack.
Mariano makes the call, 728K in the middle.
So we're not going to see a re-raise on the river here. If we do, we're going to see a bet. We'll see a call. We won't see any re-raise because ace-jack is definitely going to be part of your opponent's range here for both players.
We do see a bet of 393,000.
And Mariano, yeah, he's not happy, but...
And we do see a call from Mariano.
Because your opponent there is telling you they have jack-6, they have ace-jack.
Sure.
I mean, it's unreal. You know, you think it's hard for them to have that hand there, and of course they could be bluffing with some hands too, but yeah, that's what running good's about.
And Gavs up to more than 6 million in chips. Extending that chip lead over Mariano and Secchi.
Somebody might say, why wouldn't Mariano raise there with his full house on the river? But you're not going to get called by a worse hand. So if a guy has a king-jack, which would be the best jack with a king kicker, he's going to bet and he's going to fold because you're representing that you have an ace-jack or a stronger hand, that jack-6, right, or pocket jacks. So
Gavs had limped in on the button here. Secchi raised it up.
I wonder if new players know this. I feel like that's such a basic concept that I wonder if new players to the game, they might wonder, why did you not raise with the full house there? And they might not take into account.
No, I think that's important to bring up. I think that looks so strong to a player new to the game.
Yeah, jack, like a full house like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, plenty of players go broke with that exact hand, right?
Sure, I'm sure you see it all the time in plenty of cash games.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those are the games you want to be in.
Yeah.
Here's my club ID. Come play, right? You know. Do you like to put in the re-raise with the jack 4 there? Here's my ID. Come join, right?
Please, no agent pitches.
Yeah, leave them alone, please.
Leave them alone.
They're creative with their pitches, man. I gotta say, man,
yeah.
I get some interesting cold calls.
I'm sure you do, especially.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I get some interesting ones. Some guy tried to jungle man me the other day, man.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He was trying to, I don't know, some guy messaged me, right? He was like, oh, do you want to play? Like, I'll stake you in this game to play. It's like 50-50. I was like, oh, it sounds great. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, what do we got to do? He's like, okay, like, you set up a camera. I'm like,
oh, God. No, I see where this is going.
I'm like, what are you FBI or something like that? What's going on here, man?
Trying to trap you.
What the hell? Yeah, I was like,
thanks.
I was like, no, I can't do that. I mean, I can understand the allure of playing in a game where no one knows how to play at high stakes on a free roll for a 50% free roll. So I can understand why someone would happily say, sure, let's do it. But
not you.
Well, I mean, if this wasn't to happen, I would have thought about it more. But it's kind of weird. Like, wait, why would it be? I really haven't heard of this system before. So it's like a
Yeah,
new.
yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I've heard of
Sure.
other systems similar, but like with the whole webcam thing, it's kind of a new thing. So I would never even consider it. It's really good to know that information because I play in some games where you have the faces up. So
Okay.
I never thought like
That could be
yeah, someone
throwing you off.
fake
Yeah.
fake the face. I mean,
Right.
what the heck, man? These guys are savages out there. I mean, it makes sense. It's a pretty easy thing to do. Like, why would someone not try to do it? But I just wouldn't have thought about it. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, as the technology evolves, right? The people take precautions, and then people skedaddle by the precautions. So, but he did get back in touch with me, and he did say that I could play in the group, and I could just play under my own.
Oh,
team.
you
But
could just be
now I'm
you.
like, well, what's happening in the group? Like, or what,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know these
Yeah.
people.
If this was offered, yeah.
Interesting.
Wild world out there.
Interesting
be
times,
careful.
Yes, interesting times, yeah. So Mariano check raises the turn with
So
trips.
here, the button actually should be Sechi. So Cochran led on the turn.
Oh,
Mariano
okay.
raises.
Okay.
We'll work on that button placement.
Yeah, that might be
yeah.
a good idea.
Cochran just under 6 million. Marcelo Mariano around the 4 million chip mark. Norbert Sechi, our short stack with about 20 bigs. Mark Demirjian, Jesper Hogard, Lasse Nielsen. Rounding out our final table, all three of these players guaranteed $86,400. Up top, more than 249K.
So you can see Gaz is also he's using a limping strategy on the button too. We've seen him do that a few times. I wonder if that is because with Norbert's stack size in the big blind, or if that's something he would do if everyone was a little bit deeper stacked as well. Maybe he's doing that with hands that don't want to face a 3-bet, that want to keep the pot small a little bit. It's interesting, interesting approach.
Just the flush for a short stack. Mariano leads with the wheel.
Questionable lead. He did bet min bet here, so.
Why questionable?
Usually you're not going to get called by. I mean, you might get called by some 2 pairs, and maybe you block bet a little bit, right? You bet and you get raised and you fold. So maybe it isn't questionable. Maybe the future solver will love it. I don't know.
Sechi raises, takes it down there. Blinds raise every 30 minutes. Starting stack for this tournament, 150,000.
King, queen, 10-6. He's going to 3-bet it here. This is what
460K.
happens in these tournaments. You get these marginal double-suited hands, and you're like,
roll eyes, go with it.
Yeah. I mean, not always, right? I don't know if this is a mandatory re-raise here with 20-some big blinds. You're never loving it, I'll tell you that.
Sechi does take it down.
Yeah.
King, queen, 9-8 now.
Happy to see that happen. Well, he folds King, queen, 9-8 open. I mean, that's surprising. He must have known the guy had aces. Okay. It must be
right, obviously.
Let's run that hand by the team here, boys.
Cochran limps in. Mariano raises it up with those aces, takes it down.
So Gabs limp folds, queen 6-3-2. Yeah, I think Gabs is trying to pick his spots. He's trying to play a lot of hands post-flop with these guys. Not trying to put himself in any crazy positions, crazy spots out of position, or even in position here. Really, he's trying to play a very small ball style here.
Ace queen 4-3 with clubs, limps in on the button. Mariano happy to limp in. Sechi checks. The ace queen 9-6. Ace high diamonds. Comes jack 5-5. Mariano flop strips.
Not the best trips, 9-5-3 deuce. Even though even when you get called here, you bet flop, you're not necessarily super ecstatic because there's a good chance your opponent could have a better 5 than you, and if he does have a hand that's weaker than a 5, most likely won't be calling too many more bets here. So you're hoping to fill up on the turn.
Open ender for Gavs. But he'll lay it down.
Yeah, pretty weak draw to have there. If you do call there, maybe you have like a 7-8 with a pair to go along with it.
Mariano at about 100 bigs. Secchi our short stack. King Jack 10-9 with hearts. Raises it up here. Cochran defends.
Yeah, I think Gavs is going to defend most connected hands in position like this. It's not the strongest hand, but his decisions are going to be relatively easy on the flop.
Wrap for Secchi. Along with 10s, along with the backdoor flush draw, he'll fire.
Maybe they won't be so easy, actually. I guess if he flops bottom 2 and faces a pot size bet, not that easy.
Gavin Cochran, 5.6 million in chips. Marcelo Mariano around the 4 million mark. Norbert Secchi is in third.
That's C-bet. We're going to figure that out.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that one.
Maybe someone in the YouTube chat has a hypothesis about the C-bet. I'd love to hear some theories they might have.
He's Jack 5 with spades.
Yeah, I expect Gavs to be playing a lot of hands from the small blind.
King Queen at Jack, the set of jacks for Cochran. The flush draw for Mariano.
Nothing popping here very much here. Couple, I mean, set's obviously a good hand to have,
Yeah.
but not this board. Get called, a lot of bad cards on the turn. Ace, 9, 10, heart. Sometimes you fill up, your opponent's got a better full house, king, queen.
How about quads on the river for Gavin Cochran?
Well,
First quads we have seen of the Poker Masters Online PLO series.
something about online poker. These big hands just occur more often, Jeff. Why is that? Is it rigged or what?
I do not believe so.
Some of my favorite comments.
Yeah. Only online.
Only online these
Only
big hands
online,
happen.
yeah.
I go, well, like when you play like 18 hands an hour
Right.
live, and everyone's
a lot more.
yeah, like everybody's in the mix with these like very strange hands. Like yeah, just things. Right, people fold more. People play a little bit stronger ranges online. A little better players online who, when they get money in, they're going to have stronger hands.
Yeah.
But you never know, right? I haven't investigated the RNG on Poker Bros, so I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's a little different, I guess.
I don't know what's going on there. The World Series of Poker Bros. They're going to have one. $1 billion guarantee. They got enough people on there probably at this point.
Probably true.
Yeah. Imagine your agent's got to pay you out that money. I mean, you better hope he has it. These are such like inside poker. Like I mean, I feel maybe I need to stop doing those because people that
niche, but I think plenty of people in the chat know
aren't going to understand what I'm talking about with some of these things. But
Mariano with aces on the button.
oh baby,
9955 for Secchi.
and 9955, you want to call flop, try to flop a set here with this hand.
It's queen, queen, deuce, 2 clubs. Flush draw for Secchi.
Some might 3-bet it. Double paired hand, especially again. I think call is pretty normal. Flush draw, 9s and 5s. With this stack size, not sure if it's a call or a fold. Deeper stacks, I would call.
How about the check raise?
Did this
from
guy
Secchi for about all of it, and he's going to have to get all the chips in now.
Oh no!
Going to need a club, a 9, or a 5.
What just happened?
And he does not get it on the river, and just like that, Norbert Secchi is out in third for $86,400. And Joey, we're heads up for the title.
Huh.
The check raise on the flop for all of it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Two plays I didn't expect to see there, right? The insta all in with the ace, ace, jack, 6. I mean, I maybe would have thought about it, whether I would have folded or called. Not sure, but now we are heads up. You're right. Deep stacked heads up. Potlam Omaha play. The great game of Potlam Omaha, man. Anyone's been watching Galfon Challenge, been watching a lot of heads up, so you guys are ready. You guys are locked in. You know what heads up poker is all about here. A lot of play. I don't think Gavs is going to fold any of his buttons. I think he'll probably play every hand.
Marcelo Mariano versus Gavin Cochran for the title for $249,053 for 249 points.
Who's your pick to win, Jeff? What do you got?
I'm going to go with
the top pro or the top, maybe pro too. Maybe he's a pro.
Marcelo just looks like he's having such a good time just in life.
I know. I want to get this guy on the podcast. I love this guy, yeah. Gavs looks way too serious, right? I mean, he looks like the kind of guy who might win and might not even put his,
like, okay, on
might not even put his hands up in the air with that attitude on his face right there, right? Might just go register for the big 55 or something like that, you know. Whereas Marcelo would at least like have a drink.
Marcelo, yeah,
or like a whiskey or something.
He's got a bottle of champagne. Or
he pops something, right? Maybe he's got a couple friends with him or something like that. Right.
He's got the rail.
You think he's got a rail, right? You think people
I think for that guy, look at that smile. You know, how are people not drawn to this
Especially like we're celebrating post-coronavirus time too, right?
Right.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
opening things up a little bit.
Maybe we're on a boat in the Italian sea or something
boat.
like that, yeah. You never know. Nothing going on here, guys. Couple weak hands. You're going to see a lot of button limps here, and a mixture of raising and just calling. Very rarely folding.
The winner will grab the top spot on the leaderboard in the race for the Poker Masters Online PLO Series Championship. That championship comes with a purple jacket.
Do you want to do a bet? I'll take one of these two.
Okay.
And I'd prefer Gavs.
Yep, you got it.
And we'll pick whoever has the highest finish in the overall leaderboard at the end of Poker Masters.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. We'll figure out what we're going to bet. I mean, it's closed over here now, so we can't really do much out here. But so I'm interested to see how aggressive these guys are going to be playing from the big blind versus limps. I'd imagine start off with standard ranges that they would raise with no matter what. And I want to see if any of them start to deviate, play a little bit looser, or start. I'm just always curious how people adjust to these type of strategies.
Let us know in the chat who you all are rooting for. Mariano or Cochran. Luck Express 10 or Gavs 101. Gavin coming off his 32nd birthday this last weekend. Happy birthday to him.
I made a controversial ranking decision on my video today, and I put Stu Unger in the tier at the third tier, right? And I just don't know much about the guy, right? I don't really know anything about the guy. I know he wears some sick glasses, and he's known as an aggressive, degenerate kind of player,
right?
But some people are upset about that ranking. I put him down there. You know what I mean? I just don't know much about the guy. So
where was
it was a combination of most entertaining, most impactful, most known, great player. It wasn't just like the best accomplished player, right? Like. Just because you won 3 bracelets don't mean you're not down $25 million from poker, right?
True.
Like,
so true.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to weight all options equally in my mind.
How'd you come up with the 17 players initially? That must have been a process.
I was just like, who are the people I want to talk about? Like, who are people I like? And then like, who are kind of known
to
players?
The top of your mind.
And then I had to throw in Stu Unger and Chip Reef just out of respect for those two guys. And
Jack high flush for Cochran.
It's a good river card for Gavs. He does bet out there. He's trying to get called by a worse flush. Maybe a 2-pair set straight. I mean, that's what he's praying for, hoping he doesn't have a higher flush. Okay.
Mariano did fold. Well, you said it. They are plenty deep.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
All of the aces. I mean, not all of them, but 3 of them here. Ace, 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 jack.
What's happening here, man? Gavs is like, is he going to flop bottom set with his hand? That might be something that would happen.
Calling for deuces.
So, guys, I don't know what's going on here. The king six deuce deuce raise and then call the 3-bet. Marcelo willing to just risk his entire life with 3 aces, no suit.
Just going to go with it.
Willing to get 125 big blinds in with that hand. Gavs is going to call here. He's going to float. No, he's not. Okay.
He'll lay it down.
I got excited. I said, oh, what would it?
So here we go.
Yeah. I said, okay. I mean, he has the gutter, right? Backdoor quad.
Right.
Never know.
King, queen, jack 9 with clubs. King, queen, 4-3 with hearts.
It's a good flop.
That does come ace, queen, 10. That would be the stone cold.
Yeah, that's a great flop.
Mariano.
Gavs has middle pair with a king, so he has a straight draw. No backdoor heart, no backdoor flush draw. Easy lay down.
Gavin is playing right now in the 10K high roller, which we will feature coverage of tomorrow.
Anyone who's up top there?
Mark Davis is the chip leader.
Where's he from?
Ireland.
Ireland, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
George Wolf in the top 5.
Mark Davis?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. Ireland?
Yep.
Okay.
Aces and queens for Marcelo Mariano.
So Mariano could check raise here. Backdoor flush draw. Backdoor straight draw.
And he does indeed check raise.
Hoping that Gavs has an ace. I mean, not many hands are really going to continue with their ace, king, 10, jack. I mean, ace 3 probably folds. So, yeah, it's pretty, maybe it's a hand you might just check call with.
We are pretty
Mariano's
even
spot.
here. 140 bigs for Marcel, 130 bigs for Gavin. Could be settling in for the long haul.
Well, technically, at heads up there, you're never really going to check raise there with any hand because you're at a pretty big range disadvantage. But I don't know how much we're talking about things like that on here. So, but sometimes you got top 2. You got to exert your power and exert your energy, right? You got to put it in there. Why not? But the problem is that when you get called, you're not getting called by much. Now, if you have a player who might put some money in with ace 3 there, maybe he's making some calls with ace, queen, jack, 10s. But ranges are we could talk about it all day long, I guess.
As much as you want.
Yeah.
You're the analyst.
Problem with raising that hand there is then when you just check call, your range is very weak. So you want to include some of your strong hands there. That's why you don't really check raise many hands there, is because you can't necessarily balance it that well. But we just fire unbalanced play around here anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't have this. This is Brent Hanks. I don't know what's I don't even know why Brent's here in my face.
Always here.
He's giving me that look. I like it. Shout out to Brent.
Yeah, shout out to Brent Hanks.
Working hard.
Director of live programming for PokerGO.
Is that his title?
I believe so.
Okay.
Might have butchered that one, but it's something, maybe live events. I think it's program. Director of programming.
Whatever he wants to be
Director
called.
of programming and live events. Yeah, whatever. He just does it all.
Mariano, top trips here. Gavs, open and straight draw, back doors. Oof.
Straight does come in on the turn.
Expect Mariano to check this back. Try to fill up on the river.
He does check back. How about quads on the river?
Is this what's going on? We're
For
seeing way too
Marcelo
many big
Mariano.
hands. This is outlandish. I never see this at my local casino, Jeff. This never happens. Yeah, if you're Gavs here, you're not. I mean, he bets here, and you're beat by all pairs, all full houses, right? So in this situation, guys, remember, if you have a jack in your hand, you don't have a full house.
Correct.
So to have a full house here, you need to have a pair in your hand. So any deuces through aces. If you have the 9, obviously you got quads. So just remember that. So a straight here is, yeah, not necessarily the best hand, but not the worst hand too. You are beating the unpaired hands.
Gavin does lay it down.
I've seen that mistake before. Someone thinks they have a
Oh,
full
they show
house.
a jack, show ace jack or something.
You feel terrible as you're raking in their money
You're
for
right,
sure,
yeah,
right? You're like, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah,
That's how the game works.
that's not.
You want me to give them back to you or what? I mean,
Right, what do we do here?
Yeah, kind of work on a deal. Are you playing on credit? Maybe I give you a rebate. Oh, man. Okay. Whatever. 3 people get that one, so it's fine.
Yeah, that works.
They'll get it. They'll find it. They won't be happy thinking about it, but they'll get it at least. All these very peculiar life situations you end up in poker that you just don't see coming. They don't train
Yeah.
you in the books.
Yeah,
They don't train you for them sometimes, you know. So you gotta navigate them on your own.
Yeah, poker's a crazy world.
And sometimes you get in some trouble. You make
So
some
many
mistakes.
elements. Yeah.
And people on Twitter, they're ready to fire it pretty hard, and then they go away and get fired up about
disappear,
something the next
but
day,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then the next day, and the next day.
They're
and
on to something else.
They're angry forever, and you're continuing to live your life in peace.
Kings and sevens for Cochran. Takes it down. Another look at our leaderboard. Pretty tight at the top. Both players guarantee $162,000, so about an $88K difference between first and second. Third place, Norbert Secchi for $86,400. Fourth place, Mark Demirjian for almost $65K. Fifth place, Jesper Hugard, $46,800. Sixth place, Lasse Nielsen for a bit more than $32,000. Cochran with the kings here on the button. He opened. Marcel 3-bet. Ace, jack, jack, 8, double suited, flop, stop, set.
He's got backdoor straight draw, blocks. He's got a backdoor flush draw and blocks the straight with the 8. It's not a bad hand to check call with here. Could also bet too. Wouldn't be surprised. Some people might check raise. I mean, why not?
The check raise full pot.
Could see it too.
To 1.63 million.
Why not? I mean, hey, you know, can never go wrong getting in top set. I mean,
That's true.
Right?
That's
like,
true.
Never gonna be the worst decision you could make. Makes 10 easy to play. You check raise. He goes all in. You call.
You're right.
You
Okay,
get in with
cool,
top set.
call.
I
Let's
mean,
go.
Yeah. I don't hate it. Why not?
Hey, just takes it down there. Pretty
Yeah.
sizable pot.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Protect your equity. Can't fault him for that.
Yeah, just get the chips in when you have a great hand. Cool.
It's not a bad approach.
No.
Problem is,
Go,
you're going to be a little unbalanced and missing out on all the
Right,
value in
right,
other spots.
right,
but,
right.
I mean, you know, I don't think it's a bad way to start off playing poker for sure. Like, just that approach. Make a good hand. That's what I tell people when they start playing live and
Yeah.
low stakes online. Make a big hand.
Get the chips in.
Get the chips in. Bet. But, you know, sometimes you try to figure out what those hands are and you learn from experience. So, and even then, you win. You get lucky. That's what makes poker great.
David Capico in the chat says, deep stacked heads-up PLO isn't the great game. It's the great, great game. Second grade in all caps.
I don't disagree. Especially 2 edibles deep at the win. I mean, that's a great game. You're in another world, kind of just enjoying yourself there, taking it in, getting a massage, maybe something like that. Maybe you got a bottle of water, a couple of them.
How would you rate the popularity level of Pot Limit Omaha and the cash game scene in Las Vegas? In a normal Las Vegas, when everything's up and running.
Give me some rankings compared to Hold'em.
Yeah.
1 to 100, I'd say about 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not great.
There's like a 285 Hold'em games, and there's like 3 Pot Limit Omaha games. So Aria has them. Shout out to Aria. They're close right now. The win. But right now, there's actually more PLO games in town right now, I believe. Because the other casinos, Bellagio and Venetian, are running them because they're shorthanded and they can fill them.
Okay.
So, but normally there's just not much games going on, not a ton of them. People prefer Hold'em. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Oof.
Wow, that
Great
is
turn.
quite the turn card.
Very dynamic for both players
As
here.
Marcelo had flopped the set of 8s.
Wow.
Cochran turns the nut straight.
What would Berkey say here?
Marcelo has
How would
clubs.
Berkey describe this turn? He would have some great word to use to describe
Probably.
this turn. Both players are going to be continuing here. Obviously, Gavs has the nut straight with the redraw.
Ooh, deuce on the river. It is 8s full of deuces for Marcelo Mariano.
Most players will lead pot here because the flush draw missed, the straight draw missed. You're hoping to get called by one of those hands. I would have bet bigger. I don't think betting 900K is the move. And now Gavs has a spot where he doesn't, I mean, he has the king-queen in his hand. It's not necessarily the best. He has one club, not necessarily the best. This is one of those toss-up spots. You make a read and go with it. So you're hoping your opponent here has a missed flush draw or a missed straight draw
He did make the call.
or blockers, Jack 10.
The biggest pot of this heads-up match goes to Marcelo Mariano,
Yeah.
the Italian. Now with a pretty significant chip lead.
I guess the question of sizing there, if you bet pot versus 3/4 pot, is does it affect you getting called at all? And because he's not necessarily worrying about the idea of balancing his play. I think he's maybe betting that a little bit smaller, hoping that he gets called, and maybe he thinks that pot would look too strong, so he's just kind of praying that Gavs happens to have a hand that he calls. But if Gavs has a hand that he calls, most likely he's going to call pot as well too.
Blinds have gone up 25K, 50K with a 6,250 chip ante. Queens for Cochran, sixes and a flush draw, which does come in for Mariano.
Yeah, once again, this is one of those weaker flushes where you're trying to go for, normally maybe go one street of value, bet the turn or bet the river. Now he's hoping that Gavs has a straight, maybe trips.
Gas does fold. Marcel up to more than 8 million in chips.
He's cruising along, man.
That
I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Luck Express here.
Born in Italy, playing out of the UK.
I could see him having a big series. If he plans to play more events, I don't know. Maybe he's preoccupied.
Aces here with diamonds. Makes it 150,000.
So if Gabs limp calls this hand, he's going to... I don't think he's folding much. At all.
It's a 10, right. Backdoor flush draw. Marcelo leads with the aces.
This is the kind of spot you get yourself in with these marginal hands, heads up, where you have top pair, weak backdoor, not much improvability. You have some bluff equity and some of these cards. Of course, you can bluff raise here too, which is what you're going to want to be able to do things like this.
558,000.
Yeah, you got to live with the variance that comes along with this play style, and not everybody can do it, but great players can.
Wow. Marcelo lays down the aces.
It's a tough spot for Marcelo to continue there with because he could be against a hand where he might be drawing really, really slim against it.
Yeah.
He has a hand like two pair with a straight draw or a set or like a one pair with a straight draw kind of hand as well.
So about a 3-1 chip lead for Marcelo Mariano over Gavin Cochran. Marcelo with about 500K in live tournament earnings. Just 8 live cashes. Doesn't play live too much. Prefers playing high stakes cash versus tournaments.
Plus, there aren't that many tournaments to play for PLO.
True. He's mixed it up a little bit in the no limit hold'em ranks. Finished in second place in the WPT Online 10K PLO High Roller.
Nice.
Last month for 204K. Lost heads up to Andrew Pantling. Flush for Gavs. He bets, he wins.
Does he work a job or something? The Luck Express? Is he
Considers himself a businessman.
Okay.
Not sure on the exact business.
Do we have any more specification? Businessman.
Yeah, businessman.
Is he like a connector? Is he finance, stock market, right?
Good
Consultant?
question.
What's he doing, right? Has he got has an ice cream shop? What's he doing? Does he own a club in Malta, right?
I could see Marcelo own a
I
club.
could see him owning a little spot, like a little restaurant. Maybe they drink a couple coffees on the water overlooking a nice view. Maybe a boat outside.
I could see that, yeah.
A place to tie it up or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Not sure. Google his name, maybe find out something.
Yeah, I'm trying to look into
a little research.
A lot of poker pops up.
You need me to get on the investigation?
Now I know we'd know all about him if you jumped into the mix.
I'm done. I don't want to investigate anybody.
No more investigations for a while?
It's too stressful.
Mm.
You find out too much and it's too not good. Why do you want to know all this? You don't want to.
Yeah. Good question.
Why would I want to know? For what?
Right.
Oh,
boy.
Here we go. Great aces for Mariano. King 10, 9-9, perfectly fine hand to raise and call a 3-bet with.
Spades, and it comes 8-5 deuce rainbow.
So Mariano, three pot size bet here. I wouldn't be surprised if he just pots it here. And then
684K.
Yeah, Gavs has overpair with backdoor straight draw, but not very strong hand. When you call there, you're going to want to flop a 9. You're going to want to flop 2 pair. You're going to want to flop a straight draw and a flush draw type of hand. You're not going to want to just go with it when you have an overpair and backdoor draws.
Marcelo back up to about 8 million, 25K, 50K blinds.
Like to go all in there, you're going to want to have like 8-5, 6-7, something like that. 8-5, right top 2 pair basically. And a very strong draw, or a very strong draw.
10-10 deuce. Both players playing the ace deuce.
This is one of those fun boards in PLO where most people are probably overbetting as a continuation bet on paired boards with flush draws. So, yeah, Gavs had a hand. Just fold. Some players throw in the random check raises there because people are not necessarily playing those boards very well, but the standard play is to continue with a 10 and your flush draws and your pairs above 2 and most pairs above 2.
Mariano with the 3-1 chip lead against Gavin Cochran, event number 1 of the Poker Masters Online PLO Series. Jeff Platt alongside Joey Ingram. We are here with you for the entire series every day. The planned start time is 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, right here on Poker Central's YouTube channel and PokerGo's Facebook page.
I think I'm going to win a World Series of Poker bracelet in Parliament, Omaha.
Really?
For watching these. Yeah, I think so. I'm excited.
One of the online events?
Yeah, well, I wish.
Or are you speaking about future World Series to come?
Both.
Where you'll win? Okay.
Both, yeah. One of my new goals is to win the PLO Poker Masters Series at some point in time in the future now, if they're going to continue to do this. So, which I imagine they will. So now,
yeah,
right, trying to get that purple jacket.
Eight's full of sevens.
Bad card from Mariano with his second nut straight. He does bet for value, and Gavs, I imagine Gavs is going to raise here. He does have the second nut full house. His third nut full house.
To 625K.
See what Mariano does here. Both flush draws missed. Could have 10-7 as well, too, potentially as a bluff.
Lays it down.
Yeah.
Gavs back to over 3 million in chips. That illustrious purple jacket is up for grabs in this series.
I don't think Gavs is getting too out of line with bluffing there, just because Mariano, when he leads there, looks pretty strong. But maybe he doesn't look that strong. Wish he had more time to take these hands in. It's fast, so fast-paced.
The action is quick.
Can't even before you gather a third thought in your thought tree that's on the next hand. You know.
And this is realistic as to how much time the players actually took online. It's pretty accurate.
It's better than live. I mean, they'd be taking a minute.
You'd have plenty of time to get in all the.
It's like min raise, and you're like,
yeah, stop.
Yeah, unless you're one of the fast players. Some of those guys play a little faster. These Germans, though.
It's gotten a little better in the tournament scene. Thanks so much to shot clocks.
I don't want to single them out or anything like that.
Yeah, but definitely Vogelsang.
I forgot about him. Seriously, how ahead of his time was that guy?
Oh yeah, that's true.
He was not only covering his mouth, but I mean that dude was really ahead of his time with that hoodie. It's real saying something about him, right? I think he, before people are kind of looked down maybe on the look. Now the look's going to be a normal thing.
It's you can cover your face if you would like.
He kind of went from like someone who maybe some people didn't enjoy because of the look. Now
Yeah.
he goes to a guy that's actually setting trends, and maybe
Yeah,
people will
yeah,
emulate
yeah.
that
Good way to
look, right?
look at the career of Christoph Vogelsang.
It's an inspiration. I don't know what the hell just happened to that hand here. So Mariano made strange value.
Yeah, Mariano
Bluff, value.
led on the river.
Blocking bet.
Yeah, Spocker sizing 70K.
He's mixing up, merging it. I like
Yeah.
it. Like a call by worse there. Maybe he's bluffing.
Purple jacket owners include Stefan Sontheimer, Aliam Shurovich, Sam Savril, and Alexandros Kolonius.
It's a hell of a foursome right
Yeah,
there. Some
really.
Great play. I mean, you can't get lucky and win this jacket.
Right. That much is true.
You know, maybe you can, but it
That's-
seems to be very hard to get lucky to
Yeah.
win. Like, this is kind of a test of who the actual great players are, because over a 14-event series, you're going to be not only competing against the best players, right? But yeah, that's a real good gauge.
And do you have to run well? Sure. But I don't think you can get
Against
lucky
the
and
also
win a
best.
purple jacket.
Yeah,
Against the
I
other
mean-
best players in the world.
Right. You know, you take a look at that list, right? Stefan,
Yeah.
he's a monster, right? Ali, he's a great player.
Savril had a huge 2019. Basically won everything
Sam's
in sight.
Sam's killing it. Yeah. I don't know much about the last guy you mentioned,
Yeah,
though.
Kolonius, Alexandros Kolonius.
Do you have any backstory on him?
More of an online crusher.
What's his screen name? Do we know?
I don't know.
We got to get that data.
But he popped up during Poker Masters Online and certainly made a name for himself. And then made a decent run at the Super High Roller Bowl online series.
Nice. Who took that down?
That was Artur Martirosyan,
Okay.
who finished second in Poker Masters Online. So just an
So
absolute crusher.
This guy knows what's going on.
Yeah, a 25-year-old Russian.
They normally are. Those guys are killing it, man. I mean, I think it's a challenge for Americans that aren't necessarily always traveling out the country to stay ahead of the curve. I think a lot of the guys in Europe have plus when you're young, you have less distractions, right? You got more time to lock yourself in the room.
True.
Right now, if you just really focus your time in studying with the top programs that are out there, you're going to have a pretty big advantage over somebody who's a little older school who's necessarily putting as much effort or time into studying or didn't learn poker that way, so it's a little bit harder for some people to then alter the way that they get better at poker through the new programs, whereas a lot of these younger guys come up with the new technology for training, and you know, they might be doing, who knows what people are doing in real time to get better along the way. You never know what's happening out there, man. It's a strange world out there, Jeff.
That much is true.
Strange world.
We saw Martirosyan pop up towards the end of the period of time where we could hold live poker tournaments. He played Super High Roller Bowl Russia.
Nice.
Not afraid to mix it up at the highest of stakes.
That must have been fun. Were you there for that? Did you go to Russia?
Did not go. Was on the call from Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Our Poker Central
That
offices.
That would have been fun to go to.
Would have gone to Sochi.
Was that the one Rob posted where there were a bunch of people in hazmat suits in the airport?
Yes. Yes, that was it.
That would have been terrible.
That was at the beginning of March, so right when everything was starting to shut down.
Damn.
That tournament won by Timothy Adams, who won back-to-back Super High Roller Bowls. Won it in Australia, won it in Russia. Yeah, absolute crusher.
He's been a long time high-stakes player. So Mariano's been c-betting at a pretty high frequency, so I would expect Gavs to bet at a high frequency when he gets checked to. Mariano isn't really protecting his range enough from so far. Short sample size, though.
Gavs takes that pot down.
I mean, that seems like a big disadvantage, right? To like be watching this and then be aware of what your opponents might be doing.
Oh,
in these
yeah,
spots,
yeah.
right? Whatever. Okay.
Let's go.
Can imagine this, man. You get to see all the whole cards. It's a crazy technological advancement.
Mariano with almost 8 million in chips. Cochran about 3 million. They are plenty deep. Both have been pretty active throughout the course of heads-up play. Norbert Secchi out in third, Mark Demerson out in fourth, Jesper Hugard. Lawson Nelson rounded out our final 6. That's when we pick up the coverage, when they are down to 6. That's when we'll pick up the coverage tomorrow. Planning for a 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific start.
Every day?
Every day. That is the plan.
Gives me a reason to wake up and live.
Can set an alarm and everything.
Man.
Yeah, sounds like it. Just a reason to wake up and live.
Give me
All
a
right,
reason.
I mean, yeah, that's what we're here for. That works.
Marcelo.
Just leads there.
On a line here. That one. Well, he limped. Gavs limped in, and Marcelo raised the flop. Gavs is living the life of Riley right now. He's living the high life. He's got that second nut flush. Obviously, you're scared of the nut flush, but
sure.
If your opponent has that here, you're not much you can do. So Mariano does river the straight. So now he has some showdown against 2 pairs and sets. So I imagine he will be check folding when Gavs bets here.
More than 1.5 million in the middle.
Let's see what sizing Gavs goes with. I mean, Mariano, the way he played this hand, representing very strong hand. So he checks here on the river. Bet smaller here. Question is how small?
640K, good call. He does bet smaller.
Maybe try to induce potentially 2. So now if you're Mariano, if you think what hands is he betting here with, and we kind of broke down his range to flushes and 2 pairs and sets, most likely not turning those into bluffs on the river. The sets and 2 pairs, which would be hands that you can beat. There's a very slim chance he maybe has a 1 pair hand with like a nut blocker that he'd decide not to raise on the flop with too. But it's getting kind of ambitious when you think about calling with the straight there. So people might think, okay, I got a straight, I got to call. My hand improved.
Cochran inching closer. It's now about a 2-1 chip lead for Marcelo Mariano. Cochran now with kings, along with the 7-5 of clubs. Ace, queen, 7-6 with spades for Mariano.
So we see Gavs limp in some, raising some, right? Kind of mixing up his range, including some strong hands in his limp range as well too.
Queen 9-3 with 2 clubs. So the kings and the flush draw for Gavin Cochran.
Probably just goes
Queens
check here.
Backdoor draw. It does go check. Another 3 on the turn.
Now Mariano can bet for value here.
Which you will, 234,000.
And Gavs has a pretty easy call with the overpair.
Does make the call.
That is not good.
Another queen on the river. Mariano gets there.
Now the sizing will be interesting to see what he bets for value here. I'd imagine you're going to go pretty ambitious and go bigger. Hope your opponent has a 3. And he gets it through.
Gavs lays it down to the 585,000 chip bet.
Quick fold there,
Yeah.
Yeah, quick fold. You could contemplate calling there. You do block, 7-5 of clubs. I don't know if your opponent's going to you're looking for hands you can beat there, right? So the 10 jacks, the flush draws. Nothing wrong with folding.
Eight, 3 deuce. 8s and 3s for Gavin Cochran.
You can see here, Jeff, 8-3.
9s for Mariano.
Right.
And now the flush.
You
for
flop
Mariano.
top 2. You flop top 2 pair. You're not even a favorite necessarily on the flop. So
Pretty brutal.
yeah. I think Gavs might call the turn here with this 2-pair combination.
He does. River's the 4 spades.
And Mariano's probably going to be value betting this hand. Get called by 2 pairs. Some weaker flushes too. Not many combinations out there.
That's 259,000.
And if Gavs does call here, he's going to want to have flushes, maybe hero call with a set with a blocker in his hand. But most of his calling hands are going to be flushes there.
$249K up top. Both players guaranteed $162,000. There's the chip lead for Marcelo Mariano. Up to almost 7.8 million.
Cruising along. C-bet 11. Okay.
Okay.
We're figuring out things. The 3 is really throwing me off. I just can't. I can't comprehend what that what that comes from. I almost don't want to know either. I'm fine not knowing.
Okay.
The answer, you know.
Because you want to figure it out eventually for yourself.
I mean, with 3. What are you talking about?
Right.
3. Is it 3 in the last 6 hands? I don't know. I mean,
could be, yeah.
Now Marcelo's had enough of this limp and BS. He said, "F the small ball. Let's go to
Does flop a queen.
Let's take it."
Does turn a flush draw and the straight draw.
2 pair for Gabs with that future Bangkok blocker, the nut flush blocker there. Could check or bet in Gab's spot here. Mariano has a pretty easy call. People might raise with the combination draw here.
He will raise. So raise pot.
And
696,000.
When you got a weak 2 pair, you're facing a pot size bet. That's the type of hand you want to fold. Kind of combination.
It does fold. Yeah.
You want to have here Queen 10, your sets, your strong draws. Strong draws that don't have a made hand, you would just call and try to make your hand. All seems easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, straightforward.
Back to a 3-1 chip lead for Marcelo.
Helping them out in case their heads up PLO tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Vision out there. The Vision.
You have diagnosed this
Vision,
well. Is that because of Vision?
The Vision helps you out with heads up PLO a lot. Yeah. Well, I've studied way too much heads up PLO for the Galfond Challenge.
Okay.
Just because, after Phil takes all these down, I'm going to play them. So.
Oh, is that so?
I'm about to give him the war. I'm
breaking that news right here, right now.
No. We talked about it. I'm gonna take it. I'm taking it to him. I'm telling you right now. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna give him the business pretty hard. I'm excited.
When can we expect that?
We'll see. He's got it. I told him if he wins these other challenges, we can do it on Run It Once. I'll go out of the country and we can.
Oh wow. Okay.
I help the site out, man. Listen, Run It Once it's coming. It's building up.
They're doing fantastic work.
Maybe a little smaller stakes potentially. You know, he's gonna make an exception for it, but
okay.
Can you imagine have a big win and winning day, and he's just, I'm fine. I'm not phased. He wins. He beats you for 15 binds. He's like, I played poor.
Yeah, right.
I should have won 30. Okay, well.
It's like that one hand.
Yeah,
on the river rush. I
you're
got full pot.
You're up by a lot, buddy. Okay, let's calm it down here a little bit, Phil. Phil, how'd the day go? I won 330. I don't think I played good though. Humble guy. I kind of miss Fair and Phil their banter on Twitter. You know, Fair.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's so funny. You think Phil's watching right now?
He might be.
I think he is. He loves Potman Omaha.
Loves the game.
He loves a great game. Yeah. Oh baby.
Jack 6-10, set of 6s for Cochran.
Remember what we call that hand, right?
The set of 6s?
The blank and idiot set.
Oh, because it is bottom set.
The blank and idiot set. This is a spot where you have the blank and idiot set, and you get a lot of money in, and by the end of the river, you feel like a blank and idiot. So Marcelo will continue here. He's got the straight draw with the top pair.
Yep.
Wow.
Misses on the river.
Let's see what kind of sizing Gavs goes with here. Trying to get called by a 2-pair hand, 10-6, 10-4, Jack 4. Maybe some hero calls with 1 pairs. So what sizing would I go with then?
About 540K.
Can't go wrong with 2/3.
Gav's been kind of hovering around this 3 million chip stack.
Yeah, I mean, he played when that one big pot, right?
Yeah.
And that's really all it comes down to here is you got to win your big pots, and you can't be on the wrong side of variance in those situations. Yeah, Marcelo, he's done with the limping on the button. He's just had enough. So Gavs has a very easy 3-bet. When your opponent's just raising all these marginal hands on the button, you're going to be you're going to be 3-betting. You're going to be looking up your 3-bet range a little bit. Most players will, and a beautiful double-suited hand, 3 high card hand, connected hand like that is a great hand to start doing it with.
Both these players are short of $162,000 up top. 249K and 249 points in the race for the coveted purple jacket and the free entry into the Poker Masters Online PLO Series main event.
Man, I might not be here for that. I might go play it.
You might just go play it?
Yeah.
Well, let us know ahead of time. Please don't make a day of decision. If I had to do this solo, it'd be an absolute disaster.
You could do it. Try it out. You'd be fine.
Be fine, quote unquote, yes. But I would like the broadcast to be strong, to be good, to be great. Which is why you're here. I'm just here to keep you in line, really.
Yeah, I don't want you guys you guys censor things here. I can't make some certain jokes. Although now it's way more PC canceling's going high, so on one hand,
you don't want to make
on one hand, I think about getting canceled, and I go, God, it sounds real peaceful.
Right.
Because we get off social media. That sounds like fun, kind of in some ways, right? Sometimes you think about that. You're like, man, let me go start a drop shipping service, live in the mountains, right? Sell some products through Instagram and TikTok influencers. Sounds like quite the life to live,
there
right?
You go.
With my friends and family, but at the same time, you watch yourself, and you don't want to say things, and you don't want to say anything out of line about anything. So, PC man, I'm a company man now,
Okay,
Jeff.
there we go.
I'm a professional. I'm a company man. Marcelo is mixing it up. I love this guy. This is my kind of guy. We should have got this guy in the Galfond Challenge, Phil. How'd you miss out on this guy?
And he flops a set of sevens.
This dude's I love this guy. What do we call it?
The blanking idiot
The blanking idiot set, exactly. And people might laugh at that until they get into it.
Yeah,
and then they're going to send me a tweet and say, hey,
you were right.
You were right. The problem is that it's also a strong hand. So
right. I go, what are we supposed to do here?
Some people might start misapplying the blanket idiot
yeah.
set concept and not get enough value with their idiot set when they have the top 2 pair. Which,
Right.
It's like, not all textures, guys. It's just certain ones you want to watch out for this for. Queen 7-3 with the set of 3s, that might be one where you look to check raise and get called by the ace, queen, jack 10, and then they make 2 pair and you get it all in, right? Okay. You guys got it. We're good. Maybe we play some on global. Jeff, you want to play some PLO on global? We can play some tournaments. Maybe we do
tournaments, yeah. I'd like to. I'd like to.
Cash.
But I didn't want to play heads up against you. That sounded
No,
terrible.
too much rake on there.
No.
Anyway. You don't want to play.
Okay.
No. They don't have heads up anyway. There's a few regulars on global who are literally play all day long, like CTB and a few of these guys. They just play all day long.
They just grind global PLO.
Yeah. No rake back, just battling against other regulars. No, not a care in the world. So I don't know, man. The rake these days.
The rake has been a hot topic over the last 24 hours or so, it seems.
Yeah. Let's rake them to death. Operators need more money. They've got to make money. They're a business, Jeff. Why should the customer win? Let's find the uneducated customers that don't care or have issues to fill our sites. Is that the thinking? Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Always nice to say that when you don't got to worry about winning money at the game.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Look at this. A lot of. This is weird.
Yeah.
Weird stuff's happening in here.
All the blanking idiot sets.
The blanket idiots are coming out. So Mariano has top pair backdoor draws, backdoor straight, backdoor flush draw. Not surprised to see him continue here. On the flop, on the turn, obviously he's going to fold. Kind of hands, if you do face a bet here, you want to have obviously straights. Check raise with king jack, maybe check call with jack 8 unless you have a redraw, and all of your 2 pairs except 9-10 and maybe queen 9.
I think we can agree rake is pretty reasonable for this one. 10K buy-in, $300.
It's preposterous. Right? It's preposterous.
Oh, boy.
Why would they ever do it so low? How do they make money? Come on.
72 entries in this tournament.
Gosh, poor businesses.
9 spots paid.
Sheesh, $300.
249K up top.
I think WSOP's raking that on a. I don't know what they're doing actually. I mean, did you see that thing I tweeted up earlier?
Yeah.
That Ryan the Platte posted. Guy must have not been looking or something. He put it in the rigs. I don't know. I mean, listen. I've done all kind of really bad things for my work and make mistakes and all kind of stuff at poker. When I'm playing poker, I made some of the worst poker plays of all time. So I'm very critical of myself when I make these bad plays at my job too. So I can understand, right? Make some missteps and then you fix it.
Mark Davis still the chip leader in the 10K event number 3 going on right now. That will
from
feature
Ireland.
Final table coverage of tomorrow. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. What is going on, Jeff?
There's another one for you. The set of deuces.
What is happening? This is really weird. Are we sure that something's not happening?
I think we're sure, yeah.
I've never seen this on a regular PokerGo stream before.
Yes, you have.
4 sets in a row, the idiot one. So Mariano checks here on the turn. Interesting. Might end up getting him paid off here if he decides to value bet the river. Oof. Will Gavs value bet his ace deuce. Yeah, I think he will with the 5 in his hand. I think he will. Maybe 2/3 pot again. Nope, a little less.
That's 230K.
Mariano has the 4. He's never folding, but you never know with this guy. He might decide to check raise and try to get called by 2 pair.
He's content with the just call.
Mm-hmm.
To move him up to about 8.3 million in chips.
So check on the turn. Maybe get some more money on that river. Nice hand by him. Well played. Well played. So Gavs is reeling a little bit here. But he's still got 50 big blinds, so he still has plenty to work with here. No need to panic. 50 big blinds. Even though it looks like you're down a lot of chips, all you got to do is double up one time. You're back in the game.
We mentioned a bit earlier that there is a mini version running of the Poker Masters with $500 and 1K buy-ins. Our event number 1 of the mini Poker Masters is down to 3 players, and Norbert Secchi is in the final 3 there.
What? Really?
Yeah.
In the mini
finished
one?
3rd in this
he
one.
He should not be allowed to play.
Right now he's 2nd in the mini.
I don't think you should be allowed to play. I'm serious. I think
you think you have to pick?
I think you should have to pick. I think that we should give the lower stakes pot Manoa players a chance to have to play. They don't want, like, let's leave Isildur out of this one, right? You know, we get it.
I mean, there are some sickos in the mini. There's Noah Boken, Andrew Pantling, Jesper Hogard, Joni Jokamainen. There's Max Silver, Elise Parsonen, Tafiti Katai. Chance Korneth finished 33rd in the mini event.
Where you at, Chance? Shout out to my guy Chance out there working hard, playing a lot of poker, doing well.
Preparing for a Galfond challenge of his own.
Yep, chip leader coaching. Working hard with that, with his business.
Jeff Gross, Party Poker Team Pro, with a 26th place finish in the mini.
Jeff Gross, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jeff, man. Always working hard, too. Another grinder. A lot of streaming, a lot of content, a lot of podcasting. A lot of traveling. He's got a kid and a family. I don't know how he does it. I mean, nice work to him. Yeah, I'm excited for that Chance first Phil Galfond match to happen. Yeah, I'm gonna be covering that. Do some content on that. Get Chance on the podcast.
Chance a pretty sizable underdog according to Poker Shares. They have him at what, 3-ish to 1, 4 to 1?
Not by me. I didn't set those
I didn't say
lines.
you were considering Chance an underdog.
I'm not disrespecting any great player like they did with that 5 to 1.
But they did, yeah. Is it even 5 to 1?
That's disrespectful right there. Looks like we got the battle of 2 pairs here.
Yep.
No one has to love their 2 pair by this point. That call on the turn with the bottom 2. Ambitious, but why not? You can never go wrong with calling with 2 pair because you can always make a full house.
True. Excellent point. Good advice. Always call with 2 pair.
I'm going to tweet that one out. It's a good one. Very Naval Ravikant-like. something he'd tweet out. You know him? You follow
Yeah,
him at all?
yeah. Oh no, I don't think I
The earth is the earth, and your mind is open.
Okay, yep.
Open your mind, and the rest of you will follow.
You can follow him on Twitter at Joe Ingram1. Follow me at Jeff Platt. Follow us at PokerGO. Stay tuned on all the latest start times. We'll be right back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for final table coverage of event number 3, another 10K buy-in.
Good turn here. So Gabs is going to fire her. Interesting. 9963. Future blockers. 1 heart. 3 blocker. Marcelo is, or Mariano, sorry. His name's not Marcelo, right?
No, Marcelo is right for his first name. Marcelo Mariano.
So Mariano is his last name. That's how you
Yes.
pronounce that.
Yeah, I know it looks weird, but
I
yes,
thought we
that's
were-
the pronunciation.
I thought we'd been saying his first name was Mariano.
Oh, no. First name Marcelo, last name Mariano, just silent G and
Okay.
L.
I'll get with the program.
Eh.
I just woke up. No, I didn't really.
We rattle you out of bed
No,
early
I was
for these.
finishing a YouTube. I was finishing my YouTube edit video, so I did not just wake up. This YouTube content, man. I don't know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of fun, but stressful. Editing for hours. Going back to podcasts, Jeff.
You are.
Those are easier to do. You just do them live. They're fun.
Yeah.
You get to have high-level conversations with other great minds, great
just chatting.
players.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. When you make these videos out, you try to be like funny and to
Right.
do
A lot
these
of
things
editing
and
work.
A lot of editing
Yeah.
work. Yeah. I mean, the more work and effort you put into it, the better result you're going to get. Normally, it's going to look better, sound better, flow better. So theoretically, you want to put more time into it.
And what, you just tried a new style of YouTube videos with
Yeah, I
this
mean, normally
rankings thing?
like let's say there's the vloggers, they do vlogs, right? And then streamers, they stream, they do highlights. Those are the kind of content they put out. Normally, I did a lot of podcasts, and then I did some edited things, which would be compilations of hands or highlights of challenges, like for Phil, or some commentary, new style formats on different issues. So this one is more like a attempt at like a lighter topic that's more like, it's more meant to generate discussion and engagement in terms of like engaging people to discuss their favorite players or the top players or anything like that, which is very common what they do in all sports, right?
Sure,
UFC,
sure.
sport.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
NBA guy, Jeff's a professional. We call him a professional for a reason. So yeah, I'm trying to just try. There's a bunch of content ideas I have, format ideas mainly. Like if you're thinking about being a producer, right? You put together these styles of shows in these different formats, and
Sure.
And so I just try to
Try a couple.
Yeah, but
It's like a pilot. It's like you're shooting a pilot.
kind of,
with this
yeah.
one.
I mean, really shitty pilot, and then, like, PokerGo. These guys put like, you guys did Big Blind, and you put like 5 months into the show, right?
Yeah,
I
right.
put a lot of thought into the show, but in terms of outside of that, I'm not building the formats in the back with the
sure,
team.
sure.
I know we got a lot of guys working hard here at PokerGo,
That much
Poker
is true.
Central.
Fantastic production team here.
Yeah.
You can catch the Big Blinds, available on demand every episode of Season 1 on PokerGo. Does star Joe Ingram.
Technically, that's not true. I mean, it stars you.
Well,
You're the
no,
star.
that's bad for the show. That's bad marketing. To
I've been
market
on
me
2
as the
episodes,
star.
I think. Nothing going on here quite yet.
No.
Great flop, obviously. 9-6-5-3, redraw, straight draw, redraw, straight, and flush draw there.
Mariano with more than 8 million in chips. Gavin Cochran at 2.6 million. Marcelo, the more active pre-flop raiser.
So it looks like Gav's using a bit more conservative strategy. Marcelo mixing up a little bit more, playing a little bit more aggressive, willing to put some bets in some spots, put some pressure on his opponent. Gav's more trying to pick his spots, wait to have top of range, or wait to have these theoretically correct plays in some spots, and he's keeping pots small pre-flop too. So it's an interesting difference of strategy here, whereas Marcelo is kind of incorporating a different style.
King 4-3 here with diamonds for Gavs.
Ooh, could be a 3-bet here.
Ace Jack 6-5 double suited, and there is that 3-bet to 450,000.
Some might 4-bet kings here. I suspect Gavs will just call, not wanting to commit this many chips with marginal kings.
Does just call. Out comes Jack 8 deuce rainbow.
And this is a classic pot limit Omaha spot, Jeff, where you have a little over pot size bet left. He's got about 2 here, 2.2. You have an overpair. You have a backdoor diamond draw and a backdoor straight draw, but your opponent's representing a very strong hand with that 3-bet here, and this this board is going to connect with that range if you have the wraps, if you have the aces. So you're going to end up folding there, which some people might say, that's crazy, but that's not how it works. That's how ranges interact, and that's how things go. So when you call there with the kings, you might be saying, well, what are we calling there with kings with pre-flop? You're calling with kings there to flop a set or to flop a flush draw with an overpair. Or obviously with the 3-4, 2-pair combination like that. But you're not necessarily calling there to just flop an overpair. So maybe if the board comes 6-6-7, you might say, okay, we have a gutter, so we can call 1 bet on the flop. But if it's a small bet.
Top set for Mariano.
A lot of sets.
Yeah, a lot of sets.
A lot of sets. Unfortunately, he doesn't have anything here. With the backdoor redraw, too. It's always, so it's a habit you want to get yourself into. If you're thinking about how do I get better at Pot Limit Omaha, you want to get better at identifying all the combinations that you have on the flop and how your hand can improve on later streets. So a thought exercise to do is you look at it and say, okay, I have top pair now. These hands give me 2 pairs. These hands also give my opponent, if they have this type of hand, right? So you kind of start filling in the blanks and say, okay, we have backdoor draw, we have backdoor straight draw, we have backdoor flush draw, we got the backdoor quad draw. And then you start saying, okay, well, if I hit my out, what will that give my opponent and how will the boards change? So for instance here, if you have Marcelo's hand and you say I have king 10-8, you have ace 10, so you're looking at your cards and say, okay, an ace gives me 2 pair, it improves my hand, but what would that do for my opponent? That would give my opponent queen jack and ace king. So that's just a simple way to start expanding your thought exercise when you're thinking about hands and your opponent's hands and identifying what exactly you have in this great game.
Great game indeed.
You're picking it up, Jeff. Jeff, we're going to get you playing, man.
Okay.
We're getting you playing a session. I'm excited about this. We're definitely going to get Jeff playing some PLO. So this could be it. No, Marcelo folds. Okay.
Marcelo does fold. Ace 5-4 deuce.
Wow. Surprised. I mean, not you're supposed to fold that hand, but surprised that Marcelo would be that conservative there.
Yeah, he's been mixing it up plenty.
We've come to find, Jeff, that hand maybe not as good as some may have used to think. The ace with the low cards right there. I used to love that hand. Like I can make straights,
I can always play this.
Yeah.
Now maybe a shift in overall strategy regarding that hand.
With that hand, yeah. For some. So Marcelo might seem like he might like these single-suited queens here. Some people like these, yeah. I think Gavs might want to consider folding some of these hands to limps. Maybe not, I guess. I would consider folding some of these hands to limps. I mean, no shame in folding. He just wants to play every pot, so I can understand that. He's in position. Can understand that.
Marcelo leads for 234,000. Quick fold from Gavs. About a 4.5 to 1 chip lead for Mariano. The Italian businessman.
We don't know what business.
We're not sure yet.
Just notice they have different colors.
High stakes rings. Yeah.
Just notice they have different colors. Well, the 4-color deck, and also each player has a different color too, a different identifier. So Gavs is yellow.
Oh.
And Marcelo. I mean, you got all these touches here.
Oh, but he's also yellow. Yeah, I think that's just
what am I?
Differentiate the blinds.
What the hell? Why'd I have to go on a limb there? I could have just kept it safe. And said, look at that nice orange outline of the table, right? You know, to say these.
The overall color presentation.
Why can't I do the Twitter
strat?
That's what a lot of people do on Twitter. They just say obvious, very easily agreeable things, and they're like, everyone's like, "You're a god. You're so smart." Oh my, you know what I mean? Way too much strategy for someone out there who's trying to grow a business, but just say things they agree with.
That's true,
They're going to be wiping it in.
That works. Like, oh, my God, this guy said and he's right.
It feels so much better. It feels so much better after a winning session than a losing session, right? You say like things like that. And sure, you're going to get some shit from people who like, but you just block them, whatever.
Okay, block them and move on.
Stop being a hater.
How dare you question this take?
Oh, man. I just gave somebody, honestly, they could make $1 million that strategy if they used it.
Aces for Marcelo, kings for Gavs.
No one's scared. No one's paying attention anyway. It's fine. Here we go here, guys. This is it.
There's the
Aces
3
versus
bets.
kings. So when Marcelo 4-bets here, I think Gavs is going to lay this one down.
Okay.
Not good kings. I mean, we look at kings and you guys get,
Everybody gets excited.
Yeah,
with
but
kings.
unsuited kings.
Yeah, and he does fold.
Yeah, pretty normal, pretty
Call.
standard. I mean, there hasn't been any 4-bets yet, so when your opponent does 4-bet, he's telling you, I've got a really, really, really strong hand because he's just calling everything else. And those really, really strong hands typically are pocket aces, double-suited kings, really strong rundown double-suited type hand. So with king, 8-9, you're doing very poorly against that range. Plus, you still got plenty of room to play. You still got over 30-some big blinds here. You're never getting it in really good in that spot.
Yeah.
Ever. Is that true? He might have queen, jack 10 double suited, but usually they just call that hand. So shout out to Jeans 89. No.
Oh yeah.
No specific reason. Just shout out to Jeans.
Okay. I think I saw him
probably
in the
on a
mix today.
He's probably on a boat in Finland right now playing on his connection, wearing a robe.
Just living the dream.
He's doing something. This is a chip lead.
This would be
Wow.
a chip lead. More than 9 million in chips for Marcelo Mariano. Less than 1.5 million in chips for Gavin Cochran. But still about 30 bigs.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not out of it yet, but he's got a lot to come back here. 180 big blinds.
Yeah.
Plus, the guy's got momentum. He's probably feeling good.
Champagne is flowing at his residence, at his manor.
The penthouse.
Yeah.
The Italian penthouse.
Jack 10-10 deuce with clubs for Cochran and Limson. Marcelo checks the ace queen 3 deuce with spades.
I like whenever
just flop queens and
whenever
deuces.
I watch the other commentators
Yeah.
that talk PLO. It's all like Europeans, so
Right.
they're always like there's like no excitement in their voice quite yet. They don't quite know how to take it up an octave.
Oh yeah.
So when they start talking strategy, they're like their voice starts lowering like
Yeah,
this, and
yeah.
they start going. Or there's I mean, it's just I'm imagining that PLO commentary, as more of these guys do it, they're going to start to evolve a little bit and maybe start throwing some excitement in their voices here for some of these hands. Marcelo,
You got to ramp it up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we're kind of seeing it. We're seeing the creators in poker are so new that that they don't really understand like the whole putting on a show element of things, or like I'm like crazy all the time. So for me, I'm not necessarily putting
you're
on a
high
show.
energy, plenty.
Yeah,
but it's really you.
I'd act like this at home a lot too.
Right,
If my girl could handle it, she might not be able to handle it, but.
She's like, tone it down a little bit, just a little bit.
I'm too sarcastic, and she doesn't necessarily understand the sarcasm. So I'm very like she doesn't know if I'm serious. Like some people out there probably think I'm being serious with a lot of things I say, and they don't realize there's like underlying form of humor that it happens, right? You a sarcastic guy, Jeff?
Yeah, pretty sarcastic.
Yeah.
But I'd say during commentary, I pretty much, as you know, just kind of play
This
it
is
down
why we
the
call you
middle.
the professional.
Right. I do try to ramp it up a little bit, bring in some drama.
Tuck does a great job with that. I mean, he's been around the business for a long time.
Yeah,
He does a great job.
and he's certainly a legend in the poker commentary game.
Oh my gosh. Nothing too eventful going on right now.
And Tuck can go, man. Those World Series streams, like way back in the day for the preliminary events, where he would just have to broadcast by himself for, 14 hours. Man can do it all.
Interesting hand. So Marcelo going with a value bet, but small size. Okay, it was only half pot. Makes sense. Yeah, that hand before we actually missed was interesting because Marcelo had bottom 2 with the ace blocker in his hand. Yeah, I mean, when you're commentating for hours and hours and hours. And then, the best thing is when you commentate for those hours and then you go read the chat on like 2+2 and they're like, that dude fucking sucks. You're just like,
Stay away from those forums.
You're like, oh,
You're like,
great.
I just put in this massive effort. I just talked for 14 hours straight, and I'm just getting bashed.
Yeah, thanks for the support. I want to go to their jobs one day. Like, go watch.
Right.
Like, bro, you are the you are the worst. You are the worst at your job I've ever seen in my life. And like, just, I mean, People don't know the beauty, but you put yourself out there, you ask for it. I understand. I understand all the things. I'm just telling you how great it must feel for people out there who have to deal with comments like that.
Almost a 10-1 chip lead now for Marcelo. And a lot of the times, if you respond to them, like if somebody says, this broadcast would be so much better without Jeff, I'm like, oh, come on, man. And he's like, I'm just messing with you, you know, blah, blah, blah.
It's not personal,
You've been
buddy.
great. Yeah. And I actually, I'm starting to enjoy this. Like, all right.
Yeah.
That's sincere.
It's not personal.
Queen 10-4, 2 clubs. Wrap for Gavs.
Yeah, being a poker player is so much more peaceful. When you're a professional poker player, you live and die. When you lose, you know, it's on you. You don't have people like lambasting you and sending you messages telling you how garbage you are and all this kind of stuff like that. You know, you just play in peace. You lose on your app. You ask your agent for a couple more buy-ins, and you're down. You're down 5,000 for the day, and you go do something else. Right? Nothing to deal with. You have a bad day at the office in the commentary world, the content world. You're going to hear about it.
Absolutely.
Maybe for an indefinite period of time.
While, right?
Right. Different world, different challenges. I see why people stick to poker. Peaceful, man. I think I'm going back.
You're going back.
I'm going
Can
back.
You stick out this series at least?
Yeah, full-time professional, man. Start my home game. No rake. Keep it in line. You guys know. The vloggers are doing it right, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I'm not the one that makes the decisions.
Right.
Nice river there for Marcelo, man. He's making hands here. He's making some hands here, Jeff.
River's the straight.
He is making some hands here. Don't think Gav's going to call here. He does have the king, does have a blocker, but close. Fold, preserve your chips. He does
he does make the call.
Yeah, by the action. Not too surprised, but
Cochran in some trouble now.
Yeah, that's why you might debate folding a little bit more there on the river, just because I think with normal stack sizes you'd call there, but with the shorter stack sizes maybe your strategy changed a little bit, which allows your opponent to put more pressure on you, and then that may make it more of a call, especially with the 10, the king in your hand.
Cochran folds. Marcelo did have aces.
So 7 big blinds left, Jeff.
Less than 350,000 in the big blind here. It's King 8-3-3 for Marcelo. Limping Queen Jack Deuce with diamonds for Gavs.
Yeah, Gavs is just gonna go with it here. He's got a pair suited.
Ace 8-4. Rainbow.
Pushing
1 diamond.
Very bad flop for Marcelo. I mean, he has the 8, but what? I guess I see what he's doing. So he thinks I'd probably. Is he trying to? Is he trying to induce? I guess so. What happened there?
Marcelo fired 190K and took it down.
Are those chip stacks correct?
I believe so. It's now less than 4 bigs for Gavin Cochran. Eight, 7, 3.
The fuck? What the heck? Sorry. It's a weird hand.
Puts most
These
of it
things
in.
always
7,
break.
6, 5, 3.
These things always break my brain. These 4 big blind, 5 big blind pot. These are.
Cochran with 34,000 behind. What comes ace
I
queen?
mean, hey. Listen.
There it goes. All the chips. 34,000.
Is he gonna fold?
Marcelo makes the call.
No. Oh no.
Oh, he does turn a 6. River card. The river's the king. Kings and 7s for Gaz. He stays alive. Up to almost 400K, so almost 8 bigs.
Imagine getting called all in on ace, king, queen, and having by far the best hand.
Oh boy. A lot of work to do for Gavin Cochran. 7 bigs for him. 208 bigs for Marcelo Mariano. Could be on his way to this title. Well on his way, I should say. King, queen, 6-3 with clubs.
That Queen, Jack, Jack, Deuce hand, I really need to, because those are these really unique spots that only happen in tournaments when your tournament life is on the line and your shorter stack. So it's not just short stack PLO in general, it's also with tournament considerations. So,
Ooh, kings and deuces for Gaz with the short stack, 225K behind. It'll all go into the middle here. It'll be Gavin Cochran all in and at risk with the best hand. 9 of clubs on the turn.
oof.
Marcelo, 35% chance to win it. It is a 6 on the river.
He hits it.
And he hits it.
That's it.
Just like that.
When it put
It's with kings and sixes, it's over. And Marcelo Mariano has made history.
I was waiting for you to pick that
winning
up.
the first event of the Poker Masters Online PLO series. He wins more
Let's
than $249,000.
Wow.
Gavin Cochran in second for $162K.
What a performance. He was a bulldozer right there, man.
Absolutely.
Wow, man. I mean, he gave it to him pretty hard there. Ran good when it mattered. Made some big hands versus big hand situations, but I really like what I saw from Marcelo, man. I
Absolutely
hope he plays
ran
more
him
of these
over down
tournaments,
the
right?
stretch.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I hope he plays more of these tournaments. I want to see what he can do.
Well, there is the title for Marcelo of event number 1. He
Wow.
takes the lead in the race for the coveted purple jacket and the race for a free entry into the 50K main event. That will do it for our coverage today. We'll be right back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific on Poker Central's YouTube channel and PokerGo's Facebook page. For our crew, for Joey Ingram, I'm Jeff Platt. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys later. Peace out.